on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Thank you.
So dramatic. Look, the stand
I'm
up
sorry
and
about that.
Broadway slowdown. Killing it. Killing it. Yeah. Unbelievable.
I don't mean to be dramatic, but like. Anyway.
In the best possible way.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't mean that.
No worries.
Oh, legends. What a joy to be here. Hey, Shlomi and Morty. Wow. Oh, that's mine. Of course, Rabariye, fearless leader. Tefillah. Wow, this one, I mean, how psychological and deep should we get with this one? Let's party with it. So, Tefillah, Shmorna alenu k'mo yeladim. You know, protect us, make us feel secure, seen like children. There's a vort I shared with Rabbi 𝐂𝐲𝐬𝐭𝐫 a while back, that there's a verse that says, a pasuk that says, 𝐾 adam rak ra min urai. So in psychology, there's this thought: are we born tabula rasa, like blank slate, or are we born with all kinds of well, Mitch, obviously. I mean, come on. And then look what you painted on him. My gosh, look. Anyway, Yetzer adam rak ra min urai. Any issues, problems, or iniquities we think of that we have are really from our childhood. So, Shmona alenu k'mo yeladim, children, it's natural for children to say, or to want to feel seen, safe, secured, and all that. But for an adult to say, oh, I don't feel secure, I don't feel seen, all of a sudden it's like, whoa. But, like, who? Come on. But, Shmona alenu k'mo yeladim, we're all children, and Amudim, Shmona alenu k'mo Amudim. How's that? All right, here we go. Tefillah. יושב לו אישם במרומים, הוא הרופא כל חולים, הוא הרופא עושה משפטים, הוא העושה משפטים, הוא בשמיים והוא היחיד, הוא הגדול הנורא, הוא השומר עלינו מצרה. כמו ילדים, שמונה ואל תעזוב, תן לנו אור ושמחת נעורים, תן לנו כוח ועוד ועוד. שמונה עלינו כמו ילדים, שמונה ואל תעזוב, תן לנו אור ושמחת נעורים, תן לנו גם לאהוב. מה כבר נותר לנו עוד בימים? מה כבר נותר כל היום? שמש תקווה והמון מבטים, לילה ויום של חלום. הוא בשמיים והוא היחיד, הוא הגדול הנורא, הוא השומר עלינו מצרה. אלוה שמונה עלינו כמו ילדים, שמונה ואל תעזוב, בשמחת נעורים, תן לנו כוח עוד ועוד, שמונה עלינו כמו ילדים, שמונה מיד תעזור, תן לנו אור ושמחת נעורים, תן לנו גם לאהוב. שלומי שמונה עלינו כמו ילדים, שמונה ויל תעזור, תן לנו עוד בשמחת נעורים, תן לנו גם לאהוב. Thank you. I'm thinking V'simchat Ne'urim. What is it so? Why are we so happy about, youth? We get to be children and we get to be say we want to be seen. Oh, the rent is too darn high.
Rent killed all the joy.
All right, last song, 𝐿 Sheli. Huge shout out to Yishai Lapidot, who wrote this beautiful tune, the lyrics. Of course, one of my greatest inspirations, Rabbi Avremel, for recording this. And it's pretty simple also how we tie this into Amudim, right? Am I right? Why 𝐿? Just because, it's a story of an older person giving advice, or a more sage person giving advice to a younger, less experienced person, and that's what Amudim does, man. They hook up people with therapists and with mentors, and that's just the little things. They do a lot bigger things than that. But anyway, 𝐿 Sheli. זקן ושבע ימים, ראיתי כבר רוחות הזאת ורעמים, אתה לקטן מתנועע, בטוח בעצמו הכל יודע, קח איתך צידה לדרך את ניסיוני, אל תזלזל, אולי זה כל מה שיש לי, כי יש ימים יפים הכל פורח, ויש שעות קשות הכל בורח, תחזיק חזק 𝐿 קטן שלי, כי לא תמיד הכל בחוץ בהיר, ברוח זר וסופה קרה, תזכור ותתחזק, אני איתך, תחזיק חזק 𝐿 קטן שלי. ולא תמיד הכל נכון, הכל מובן,
חיים זה לא שיעור חשבון, זה גם מבחן. עכשיו עלה קטן, הכל רגוע, אך מרחוק אולי ענן מגיע. קח איתך צידה לדרך את ברכתי, חצי הכוס היא מלאה, תזכור תמיד. וכשהשמש אל הים שוקעת, אוי אל תדאג, מחר היא שוב זורחת. תחזיק חזק, עלה קטן שלי, היא לא תמיד הכל בחוץ בהיר, ורוח צר וסופה קרה. תזכור ותתחזק, אני איתך. תחזיק חזק, עלה קטן שלי, אוי תחזיק חזק, עלה קטן שלי. עלה קטן שלי. תחזיק חזק. Thank you, thank you.
Success means, from my point of view, that it opened a dialogue where finally somebody has some place to go to and some place to talk about the situation, the trauma that happened to them. So that alone is a success. And I believe the mere fact that somebody can pick up the phone or somebody can come in and talk to somebody and they know that this person cares, they know that this person has no ulterior motive besides helping them, that is success. And when I see the numbers that come in, or the number of calls that come in on a daily basis, it makes me feel good. Maybe we might not have the cure, but without getting the word out there, without letting people know that this help is available, and this topic is no longer taboo, quote unquote, we have to talk about it. We have to continue talking about it. And the beauty of it is that Das Torah is on board. They support it 100%. Nothing is done without Das Torah, and I think that's the right way to go. We live in a world that we have quite a few problems that maybe we might not have had 20, 30 years ago, but we can't give up. We just need to continue going. And you get the chizuk that you need, being here and seeing that it's not just alone working in the world. We have a lot of work to do ahead of us. This is, in my opinion, the worst case of shfichas damim that you can have. When you kill a person, the person is dead. That's it, he's dead. When you abuse a child, your child keeps on living. And what you've done is excuse me. What you've done is you've put a knife in this child's heart and killed that child, and the child keeps on living for the rest of his life. It's worse than shvichas damim. It's absolutely creating a situation on your hands that I don't even know how you deal with it. We still have a long way to go, but we have the Das Torah, we have what it needs, we have all the tools. to deal with this. Let's deal with it. Let's eradicate this Mageva from our children. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. This is 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄 from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm coming to you on behalf of Amudim, an incredible organization that has literally helped hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people, whether it be drug addiction, abuse. I know several stories right here in our community, in our city of Philadelphia. They are a global organization, not just here, but all over the world. Thank you, Amudim, for all that you do. Please, please help support this incredible organization. Have a great night.
My name is 𝐷𝐭-𝐸𝐯. Welcome to Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim. With a big thank you to our friends at Charity Bids. This is hour number 34. You've been watching, no doubt, a whole bunch of amazing content since yesterday morning, since Sunday morning we began this live stream. Some of the segments simply remarkable. Everything high quality. A lot of great content. And now here we are for hours number 34, 35, and 36 of this live stream to wrap up as strongly as possible with tremendous success and a fantastic goal having been met for our friends at Amudim. I have the actual total right in front of me, and at the moment, we are at 2.252 million, which means 64% of the goal. We originally announced the goal yesterday when things kicked off of $3.5 million, and we're getting there. We're getting there, and with your help, this will, in fact, be an amazing success, and we will reach the goal. Remember, every single dollar you contribute is doubled, which is great value, tremendous impact every time you give and every time you encourage others to give. Let your family and friends know through your WhatsApp group and through your emails that this is a worthy cause, that Amudim is a very incredibly functioning organization which has an unbelievable track record. It's not like we're sitting here tonight and introducing Amudim to you. The entire Jewish world knows about it, and it does have an amazing track record. And you know the investment in Amudim is amazing. So, right now, 64%, $2.252 million. We're on our way to $3.5 million. Be as generous as you can. Continue to give, and send the link around so that people out there who you're familiar with will tune in to UniteToHeal.com. Andy Lauber is with us. Andy is the executive director of Amudim, and he no doubt is enthusiastic about the response that we have gotten so far since the beginning of this live stream yesterday. Andy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Am I right? Are you
very... We have to be excited. We have to be. Absolutely.
You're very enthusiastic.
There we go.
It is amazing, by the way, when you think about the impact Amudim has, not only with the work they're doing, but the fact that the general Jewish public understands how important a cause it is, and they respond in this way.
Thank God, yes. It is truly remarkable that we're here today and the impact is felt. We have some ways to go. We're looking forward to everyone coming in and helping us out get to our goal. But yeah, thank God. It is quite remarkable. We're making a lot of inroads, not just in getting the word out, but also making inroads and giving people a better understanding of our work.
You've been involved in the not-for-profit world for an entire career, basically.
Yeah.
What makes Amudim different? This is a newer experience for you. What makes this organization so different?
It's an excellent question. So I'll tell you, I literally talked to a friend of mine before we got here, and he asked me that exact question. And
how dare he?
So, and I related to him like this. I said, when I first started, I was working as a young teenager with the special needs population. And I remember growing up where the special needs population was very taboo. There was a lot of shame that was surrounded around it.
It was not mainstream.
It was not mainstream. There was a little infrastructure. There were very few amount of organizations out there. And until it took a while to be able to allow people to accept and recognize that this is a reality and to begin to create that infrastructure, that acceptance. And it took a long time to where we are today, where there's so much out there today. And we've really made a lot of inroads. Later on at 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄, I'm working with people and children and families and dealing with illness and loss and all sorts of challenging situations. I came in and it was Yana Machla, and I came in and it was, this is an illness, but we know it's a stain on our family. Right. We're not going to talk about that. And I was very proud to say that I was very involved for many years to change that and to allow us to accept no one did anything to cause this. We have to recognize that, embrace it, and be able to provide services and helps and support it as a community. But now here I'm at Amudim, and when we're dealing with addiction, and you're dealing with trauma, and you're dealing with real mental health and abuse, and in many ways I still think we're behind. And that's where Amudim's really pushing the envelope in order to make that change and to be able to allow people to recognize that families, maybe even the guy you sit next to in shul, might be dealing with something. And for them to recognize that we need to be able to be present as a community, as a nation, as individuals, to allow people to heal and to get them the services and the help that they need. There should no longer be a taboo conversation. There should be an open conversation that we are able to have as families and, again, as communities to move that needle. And we're really pushing hard.
It's funny, it always seems like 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄, people like yourself, others in the administration of Amudim, are always pushing until it becomes normal to discuss these topics. Like you insist that, and it's funny that you make the comparison or that you bring in the fact that you were dealing with special needs community and different diseases, obviously, in the work with 𝐋 Lifeline. And a lot of those things, obviously, are things that families can't prevent. And I'm not suggesting that people should be blamed or should be cited for not preventing things in this case. But the reality is that unlike disease and special needs, which, again, happens to a family, in this case, we're dealing with vices and situations that are seeping into our community from other parts of this country and other parts of society. So it seems a bit different to me.
I agree to disagree. I'm going to say that, in truth, this is an ancient. We've had these problems for many years. I think we're just coming to really address a lot of these problems. Yes, is there a challenge that we've been quote unquote assimilated, or whatever you want to say? We've been part and parcel of our society,
and the things that are new in regular society become new ours.
Correct, and it's definitely making impacts. Is true, but let's call a spade a spade. People have been dealing with depression. People have been dealing with anxiety. People have been dealing with all sorts of all sorts of mental illness for hundreds of years. This is going on for a very long time.
I guess I keep focusing on the fact that things like online gambling is like a new thing now.
Okay, so online gambling.
And sure enough, unfortunately, it has seeped into our communities. So I'm always thinking like what's happening in 2025 that now the community
100%.
is trying to face.
Listen, anything that we're exposed to and something that we need to address, again, and I think Tzvi brought this up, and it's very important. It needs to be a topic of conversation. You have to be able to be comfortable to have the actual conversation. And that's where I think really, when it comes to education and prevention of what we're trying to accomplish, aside for the clinical case management and all the therapy and all that, attacking the actual issues, but to be able to provide education and awareness and to be able to take Rabbanim and lay leaders
and get them used to
and get them have real conversations about abuse, about addiction, about mental health, in a way which they not only can understand, but now they can be present for their constituents. They can be present realizing that this is something that they have within their own communities. It's something that I already have been involved with, and I'm very proud to see and watch how this revolution is happening and how more and more Rabbanim and more people are really not just embracing it, but they're recognizing this is an issue and that we can't put it under the carpet anymore.
It was never easy being a rabbi or a rebbitzin, but these days it seems the challenges are insane.
Their hands are full.
It's funny because one of the things I wanted to ask you was about the vision, and Tzvi always discusses this, the vision for Amudim and the things that you think about in terms of what's going to happen a year or two from now and what being ahead of the curve, so to speak, etc. What is your vision? I mean, as you go through all this, normalization, it seems, is one of those visions. What else do you think about for the organization?
That's definitely something, and I just wanted to extend that from when we have 𝐷𝐸, which I think they've spoken about.
Right, we're going to talk about it
You're
later.
going to talk about a little later also, which is a social emotional learning curriculum that we have. We're in over 100 schools. And the more we see that schools and lay leaders, and for that matter, we start at a younger age, and you're able to make this change by educating them and giving them this opportunity to understand. And you and I, when we were in school,
It was different.
they didn't talk about anything. You didn't learn about anything. Let's be honest, right? You found out the stuff in the back of the bus,
Correct.
and maybe an old friend here and there. But you didn't talk about You never had that kind of conversation with your Rebbe. You definitely never could talk about that with anybody else. This was never.
Not even your parents.
Very rarely,
Especially not.
right? And very often it was shamed. But today, where the society is, we need to embrace that this is reality, and we need to empower our children. And we need to be able to give this staff and the educators, give them the capabilities to be able to step out and give what the children need today. So I believe that the more we make inroads with 𝐷𝐸, with our path, which is those are the social emotional learning curriculums that we have. The more we're able to do that, I think that we're not only going to educate the future, but we're going to see a big shift. That's number one. Number two is really recognizing that there's so much out there that you can receive by a phone call. Mm-hmm. It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to recognize that sometimes we have challenges that I need to reach out and to get a proper assessment from a clinical case manager and to be able to get into that therapy that I've been waiting for. And whether sometimes that might be an inpatient or outpatient facility, but it's okay to recognize that we're here not only to support you, but the more we're able to get that word out to people, that there is a place to turn, and that you don't have to go through this alone, and you can embrace that. So all this, we're making huge inroads. Our call volume is unfortunately going up and up, but at the end of the day, the more we've embraced it as a community, the more we'll see the help come through.
These figures must motivate you, frankly. I mean, we're at 2.265. I lauded the community earlier that they get it. They get that this is a good investment. They get it's important. And I would assume that when you see this kind of support from thousands of donors, it motivates you to just keep on going.
Absolutely motivates us. And absolutely, when we see people who understand and recognize that this is a vital mission, and they want to not just partner, they want to be completely supportive of it, it gives us tremendous amount of strength. And we definitely need to break through into more communities, into more understandings, and because this is global. And Amudim's receiving calls. We can go through it. He's very, very, very good with statistics, and we have literally every single call where it's coming from. Right. So we're able to show you from the globe. This is an issue that's facing everybody. And I'll tell you one thing I kept on thinking about after, I think it was my first month there. I think we have a perception of the person, of the individual that's going through, whether it be an addiction, whether it be, serious abuse. We have a certain
prototype.
Right. Maybe the guy strung out in the corner or something like that, right? I think that's and then you're in it. And once I was in it, I started to realize, this is...
anybody could be.
Just like illness, we know affects everybody, and anybody doesn't make a difference in your socioeconomics. Doesn't make a difference. Right. We're talking about CEOs. We're talking about Rabbanim. We're talking about families, people that you would never, ever imagine. Women, men, children, doesn't make a difference. And the more I was realizing what's going on here, the more I started, this is a problem that we need to really address, and we have to be able to support. So there's a lot to do. We need your support. We need to be able to get there. We're really, really almost there, because this is so crucial, the support. It really goes, every dollar, it really does go to help saving lives. I can't even tell you how many hours our clinical case management team and our therapists are working.
A lot of overtime.
It's wild. It's wild.
Andy Lauber and I encourage everybody to give, and give generously. We're at 64% of the goal, so we're 2/3 of the way there almost.
Let's make the push.
And now it's time to really make the home stretch be as effective and as successful as possible. Recommend to everybody. You're on the website, 𝐈niteToHeal.com. You're watching, you're participating, you're hearing about how your investment is so vital and important. Encourage others as well, family, friends, your WhatsApp groups, emails, whatever you can do to send out a message to people that we are in hour number 34 of the 36-hour live stream presentation, and we'd like it to be as successful as possible. And as we do get to the final minutes at 9 p.m. At 9 p.m. Eastern Time later on tonight. We want to make sure that we are at the goal and beyond. Andy, thank you so much. Continue that
Pleasure. Thank you.
Andy Lauber, everybody. We have a song that we're going to be introducing to you now. It is a song, once again, from our friends, the Solomon Brothers, with their unique sound and their incredible musical skill. They're joined by their brother, Yehuda Solomon, from the Moshav Band, and this time they've taken a Hanan Ben Ari hit, 𝐔𝐕𝐄 Lev, translated it into English, and gave it a little Kalbach twist, if you will. The Solomon Brothers. It's 𝐷night2heal.com, powered by Amudim. Keep on giving, everybody.
He who knows and from the start, he who heals all broken hearts, Father of day and night, who turns darkness into light. Mi yoshev al kisedim, מתכסה ברחמים, מוחל וסולח, מביט ויודע, ומי who will heal my heart, who will soothe my soul, like an endless ocean, searching for its shore. Please, oh, tell me who will I embrace, and will promise me that I will never stand alone. Mi haya hoveh, מי ממית ומחיה, פותח ידיים, מצמיח כנפיים, ומי ירפא ליבי, הביאני מתגעגע כמו ים שאין לו חוף. Please don't tell me who will I embrace, and will promise me that I will never stand alone.
That was amazing. Thank you to Solomon Brothers and Company. We're at 2.268 million, 64% of the goal. Keep on giving, unitetoheal.com, and please recommend to everybody in your circle, family and friends, to give and support the work of Amudim. We're hearing throughout these 3 hours just how incredible an organization it is and how much they step up each and every time it's necessary to do so. We're going via Zoom now, right? We're going to introduce our guest via Zoom. Our guest is Uri Idel, a married father of 4 from Bergenfield, New Jersey, originally from Toronto, Canada, which makes Gabi very happy. He's got a successful career in marketing, and he's here with us via Zoom to share his story, his journey through a serious gambling addiction that consumed much of his adult life. Now, sober and in recovery for the past 9 months, he's using his story to raise awareness with the hope of inspiring others to seek help and find their way back. Uri, welcome to Unite to Heal.
Thanks for having me, Nachum.
A pleasure, and thank you so much for being here. Obviously, your story is a very sensitive one, and I don't know the best way to jump into this, but how, I mean, you know firsthand, unfortunately, how does one go ahead and become a victim of a gambling addiction?
I don't think it's something that you really admit to yourself. I think it's something, like, at least for me, something that started really casually. In high school, I made my first bet. In Canada, in Toronto, you can bet on sports legally at the convenience store. So I made my first bet and won my first bet. I remember the excitement, the high that caused me, and not realizing at the time that that first win became a death sentence for me, because it's something that I kept wanting to do for the rest of my life ultimately. But it's something that starts casually and quite quickly becomes a serious problem.
And how long until you realize that you're in the depths of it? How long until you realize that you're in a situation that at this point or at that point is uncontrollable?
You know, as compulsive gamblers, we constantly lie to ourselves, right? We're never willing to admit that we're problem gamblers. We hold on to this idea that we can and will control our gambling, that this will be the last bet for me. All I need is one more win and I'll stop. These are the lies that we tell ourselves. And, you know, I find gambling addiction to be one of the worst, only because it's a silent addiction. There's no symptoms, no signs like you see with an alcoholic or with a drug addict. It's an addiction of lies, deceit, and secrecy. So I'm going to tell you my story. When I realized I had a problem, you know, for the first few years of my high school, you know, and college life, it was primarily casual gambling, occasionally going to the casinos. You know, I wasn't a big casino player, but when I went, I would go pretty hard. But everything changed for me once those online apps became available. You know, the DraftKings, the FanDuel, when gambling became so accessible that it was in the palm of your hand 24/7, that's when it became a huge problem.
Is that 3-4 years ago? Is that timeline right? Is it around 3-4 years ago when that really?
About 6 years ago, around COVID time. You know, I had obviously some problems before, you know, but again, the access was so limited that it was hard to really do this 24/7 without driving for me to Atlantic City for 2 hours away. But when they became legalized 6 or 7 years ago, that's when everything changed. And that's when I developed a serious problem. And it went from something that you had to drive a couple hours to something that was available 24/7.
The access created an even bigger problem. And I guess it might be somewhat of an unfair question, but just I think it would describe the enormity. Do you have any clue how much money went into all this? Like, do you even have an idea of how much this terrible addiction cost?
Yeah, you know, I always say that the money, it's not a financial problem. It's more of an emotional problem. Right. But I mean, the money that I would win and lose on this is obscene, right? To some people, it would sound like a crazy amount of money. To some people, it might not sound like a lot, but it was in the millions of dollars that I was, you know, spending, you know, weekly on these apps. You know, instead of betting on multiple games like football or hockey, it became an obsession that I couldn't stop. Every game, whether it was English soccer, whether it was Russian darts, Chinese ping pong, if there was a game on, I was going to bet on it. And where things went even haywire was the online casino. And we just heard the previous guest talk about that, but the online casino gave you access to thousands of casino games 24/7 in the palm of your hand. Right.
Is there a way for you, as I don't even know if it's fair to call you an insider, don't be insulted by that, but do you have a perspective on what's going on in the Orthodox community? Like the situation you were in and what you're going through, is it very common? Like, would you know if it's affected many others?
This is an epidemic, Malcolm. This is something that,
including in our community,
not many people are talking about nearly enough. Especially now with legalized gambling and legalized casino gambling in most states, this is an epidemic that is affecting not just the the society as a whole, but especially the Jewish community. There's a lot of shame and guilt that's associated with compulsive gambling. So people are not really admitting their problems. I think for me, this was a big step for me to go on this live program and actually talk about this, because there is a lot of shame, a lot of guilt that's associated with it. I think that one of the scariest things about it is the underage kids that are getting access to these apps, right? I know stories of many kids who are using their parents' social security number to open up an account, racking up crazy amounts of debt. Now you can bet on literally anything with these prediction markets like Poly Market. It's become so normalized in society. It's embedded in the culture. Even my daughter's friends, every time I'm around them, they're always talking about, fantasy sports or the bets that they're making. Last week I saw an interview with 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄 about a 15-year-old boy who racked up $200,000 in debt on their parents' credit card. And the comments there were all about how impossible and unlikely that is. I can assure you it's very, very, very possible. And it's happening a lot more frequently than we know.
What's been different about the last 9 months? I described in the intro that you're now sober, thank God, in recovery for the last 9 months, obviously, as you know, and we're not revealing exactly who held your hand through this whole thing, but you know that Amudim, as you just alluded to, is dealing with these situations on a regular basis. What's been different about the last 9 months? Why has it been effective to get you back on your feet?
The beginning was obviously really scary. I got to a point in my life where I was sick and tired of living this way with all the shame, the guilt, the mental gymnastics I would have to go through every day to figure out how I'm going to pay my bills, how I'm going to take care of what my kids need, how am I going to make sure my wife has what she needs, all while trying to figure out how to get money for my next bet. Like I said before, the problem wasn't necessarily the amount of money I spent. It was the amount of time that this addiction takes up. It affected, my job, it affected my relationship with money. Everything became monopoly money to me because of how much I was gambling. It affected my life as a husband, my role as a father, my relationship with Hashem. It just, every aspect of my life was consumed by gambling. And even when I wasn't gambling, I was constantly thinking about when I would have my next bet. I was talking on an interview a few weeks ago and told about how I would gamble literally all night, 24/7, in the shower, while I was playing with my kids, while I was driving, while I was playing hockey or golfing, things that I love doing, things that I should be actually doing to enjoy life. I was distracted because my head was buried in my phone. I could not stop. And where I realized I needed to end this is there was no amount of money that was going to be enough for me to stop. You always tell yourself you just win one more. With this addiction, you tell yourself, as long as you just have that next win, all your problems are solved. Right. But when you get that next win, and I've had some of those, you just want more. And when you lose it, you just want to chase to get it back. So I got to a point where I couldn't keep up with my own lies. I didn't want to feel this way anymore. And even though coming clean was my biggest fear, I knew it was time to tell my wife, to tell my parents, to tell my family what was really happening, and to admit that I needed help.
And how does that help manifest itself? Are there experts in this field that you consulted with, dealt with, met with on a regular basis? Was your family helpful in the process?
My family was the most helpful in this process. My parents were parents who I went to many times for bailouts, to get money to help cover my gambling debts. They didn't know it was for gambling debts. They thought it was for medical problems or other things that I did. But they bailed me out a number of times. My friends and family, other people who kept lending me money. What I found most helpful in my recovery was just the love and support. I was scared of coming clean to them, of telling them the truth of why I needed all this money, of telling my wife why my moods are the way they are, why I've become so angry over these last few years, even though I'm a really happy, positive person by nature. But to me, the most incredible thing was just the love and support that I received from my family. I knew I had a problem, I needed help, and my family was there to walk me through that. So there are also organizations like Amudim who have many resources who are instrumental in helping people and families struggling with a gambling addiction. This is not a individual illness, right? And that's kind of was the impetus for me, is realizing this is not just an illness that I'm suffering. This is affecting my entire family and everyone I love most in this world. So organizations like Amudim can really help both the addict as well as the family get through this, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel, as scary as it seems.
Do you worry now day by day, or are you at a point where you could be a little bit less stressed about the entire situation?
This is I absolutely live day by day. Living one day at a time is my only way through this. Every day I wake up, I daven to Hashem to pray that I won't gamble today. At night, I thank Hashem for letting me be another day free of gambling. I thank God for the love and support that I have of an amazing family, my wife, my kids, my parents, my wife's family. And 9 months is not a lot of time in the grand scheme of things, but for me, that's a huge accomplishment. I was never able to go more than 1 to 2 days without betting. But I also recognize that I'm as close to my next bet as someone who has 30 years of recovery, as someone who has 2 days of recovery. This is a daily mission that I have to live every single day. Compulsive gambling is a progressive illness that will never get better. It only gets worse. It can't be cured, but it can be arrested if you practice the right principles. And for me, that's been living my life with honesty, with purpose. It's been going to Gambling Anonymous meetings and seeing other people who are suffering with this just like I am, many other Jews in the Orthodox community who I interact with in these meetings, and just making sure that I live my life, the right way and do the next best thing and live this life one day at a time.
Your story is going to help a lot of people. You know that, I'm sure.
I hope so. Obviously this is an illness that brings with it a big stigma, a lot of shame. And I think if I could help anyone else with my story, then hopefully, it'll be worth it in the end. But what I would like to say to those people that might be watching this who are struggling with this addiction is, one, that this is not your fault. This is not a moral failing, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person, right? I think we all tell ourselves we're an awful individual, betting your family's money, lying to people, getting loans, borrowing from people. It's a really shameful and comes with a lot of guilt. But this is a disease the same way cancer is a disease. And the problem is, when you have cancer, you don't think that the best way to cure yourself is to get more cancer. But with gambling, you tell yourself that the only way to fix your problems is to gamble more. But I can tell you that if you continue down this path of continuing to gamble, those problems will get exponentially worse. I always thought I hit rock bottom, and I would tell myself I'll stop when I hit rock bottom, but I kept finding more soil underneath. And there are kids out there who think that they cannot come clean from this, who think that they're at rock bottom. But I would give anything to go back 15 years, 20 years, and never place that first bet, because it's something that will only get worse in your life.
Uri, I consider this heroic. You would probably downplay it, but the fact that you're doing this publicly, I think is an amazing service for our community. I think it's an amazing service for those who are suffering from what you've experienced. And all I can say is Kol HaKavod, and thank you so much for sharing it with us tonight.
Of course, thank you.
And wishing you, of course, the very best. Uri Adel, married, father of 4, and telling us all about this terrible gambling addiction. And yes, whatever we could do, just as a total aside, I know this is not our topic, but as a total aside, whatever we could do to encourage government officials and others to get rid of this access to gambling, it can only help our community. It can only help everybody in this country. UniteToHeal.com. Unite to Heal is, of course, powered by Amudim, and this is hour number 34 of a 36-hour presentation with amazing content that you've seen round the clock, and, of course, with this amazing message, many messages that we're transmitting to you over this website and live stream. And all we ask now is that everybody respond. All we ask now is that you realize, it's impossible not to realize how important a cause this is. And we constantly talk about the proven track record of what Amudim does on a daily basis and the thousands of calls they're taking regularly from around the world. Now, make sure to toss in a few dollars. See those dollars doubled. Everything's being doubled, of course. Tremendous value, great impact, and help get to the goal of 3.5 million. We're already at 65% of the goal at 2.278. Continue to give generously. This next PSA is from Amudim, and it's called The Drug Reality. It portrays a story of how drugs destroyed a family and how they seeked help from Amudim. Things could have turned out very different if they had not sought out that help. Viewer discretion is advised. It's called The Drug Reality. Here is our latest PSA on this topic at UniteToHeal.com.
This is the story for me, for my parents, but before that day, before my addiction took me to places I should never have gone. Before I needed drugs to feel alive. Before I used them to escape. There was the day my parents found my secret. That was the day they had a choice to make one phone call, but they didn't. But what if they did? What if they realized I needed help? What if they realized they needed help? What if they realized that we didn't have to be alone? Amudim would send someone to talk with us and make a plan. Most importantly, they would listen to me. They would get me the help I needed to heal. And become strong again. I would rediscover who I was and what I loved. I could learn to be happy without drugs. I could finish school with a world of possibilities. And instead of a nightmare, it would be a dream come true.
Thank you very much for that very important message. Gabi and Adira and Yami tell me the Toronto community is coming through today with wonderful contributions. And we want to include your city, your neighborhood, your community in the great grand total. We're at $2.81 million right now, which is 65% of the ultimate goal, the original goal that we have posted, which is $3.5 million. So keep it coming, everybody. You saw that important message. It's heartbreaking and heartwarming. Heartbreaking because of the circumstances, and heartwarming because Amudim is there to help. Simple as that. So give what you can. And I'm told that if you're listening from the PIX group, is that? The PIX group in Toronto, there's one message for you. Give, give, give. 𝐿-𝐷𝐢𝐬 is with us. He is a chazan in the Sephardic community and a singer and songwriter. I was sharing with him how his latest song was just sent to me early this morning. Born in Gibraltar, which confirms the rumor we heard that there's a Jewish community in Gibraltar. That's a whole separate conversation I could have with you, and maybe we will one day. On the southern tip of Spain, now living in Great Neck, New York, 𝐿-𝐷𝐢𝐬 has been leading tefillah and touching hearts with his voice for many years, and on Sunday, he released his second original song, a powerful new song and music video entitled You Never Know, a moving reminder to give every person the benefit of the doubt and to see the hidden pain behind every smile. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Tell me about, I'm making an assumption here. Is there a personal story behind this song, behind You Never Know?
Yeah, there is a personal story, Nachum. My wife and I, we struggled for many years to have children. We've been married now around 10 years. It's going to be 11th in December, B'ezras Hashem. And the first 8 years of marriage were pretty tough. We had a lot of support, thank God, from Boina Olam Pua, but it was a very silent, hidden battle, like many of the deep ones are. Your previous guest, it was an incredible, also a very silent battle. You're not really telling anyone, you're keeping it all in. So this was one for us also. And you realize that people don't chap what you're going through. And I was brought up with Shlomo Carlebach, Baal Shem Tov stories, and my parents were very into that. And a big idea of theirs is, you never know. A lot of songs, a lot of stories. He starts singing that message. And this song is that, to show people that you really never know what someone's going through. They might seem that they have everything going on great and everything's perfect, but really inside there's
I hope
a lot of issues.
Well for your family.
Thank God now we have, Baruch Hashem, we're blessed with twins.
Wow.
And we have a baby boy that we had 6 months ago. Hashem is great. He answers tefillah.
You're the wealthiest man in the world.
Baruch Hashem. It's the biggest happiness.
You know the Schwarzer Wolf story from Shlomo?
Of course. I tell that story over with such passion. It's really a special one.
I must have played that story over 200 times on my show in my career.
Me too. I've heard that story so many times, and I know it by heart.
Yeah, every word I can tell you by heart. It's amazing.
It's a really beautiful story.
So what inspired you to write the song now? Like, give me what's going on this week that's been released to the public.
Yeah, so timing, I guess, really falls to Hashem. I mean, I've sat with this message for a while, and being about tefillah, you get a lot of people coming up to you all the time and telling you stories and telling you what's really going on, and you realize that everybody has something. No matter who you are, no matter how good it looks, everybody has something. Yeah. So the timing is really just happened to be, and maybe it was because I had to be on Amudim to share the message, because I'm looking at Amudim and what a message it is for Amudim, because a lot of the issues that Amudim deal with are silent battles and silent behind the scenes that people don't know. So again, when you look at someone, you might think something a certain way, but really, you don't really know the whole picture. So don't judge. and let's try and see everybody in a positive light.
And we hope that those who are going through whatever you never know situation are getting the help they need.
Yeah, 100%.
What a pleasure to meet you. And now we get a chance to actually play the song for everybody.
Yes, thank you so much.
The song is entitled You Never Know. And as we just said, it's the second original song done by Yosef Levy, Chazan Yosef Levy. And this moving reminder reminds everybody to give everybody the benefit of the doubt and to consider what others might be going through. You never know. Part of our Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim, here at unitetoheal.com.
The person who looked at you badly the other day, he lost his job, he lost his pay. And the one who cut you off on your way back home, he was rushing to his mother who was sick and all alone. You never know what's going on in the lives people are living. If you'd know, you'd be more forgiving. You never know what's going on. Smiles hiding sadness, the truth isn't always apparent. You never know what's going on, but if you wouldn't judge, you'd have compassion, would not look down, we've all got our package. Evidan et kol hadam lechav zechut. And the one who crossed the street as you walked with your child, he doesn't have his own. He's been waiting for the longest while. And the one who doesn't smile for his friend walking down the aisle, many years have gone by and he's still waiting for his time. You never know what's going on in the lives people are living. If you'd know, you'd be more forgiving. You never know what's going on. Smiles hiding sadness, the truth isn't always apparent. You never know what's going on, but if you wouldn't judge, you'd have compassion, would not look down, we've all got our package. Evidan et kol hadam lechav zechut. You never know. So don't judge, cause you never know. Don't judge, cause you never know. You never know what's going on, but if you wouldn't judge, you'd have compassion, would not look down, we've all got our package.
We are Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim. We need your support. We're at $2.28 million. That equals 65% of our goal. And you know that the goal is to get to at least 3.5 million in the next couple of hours. I would love to wrap up this hour with a really strong showing. So let's double our impact. Let's double our donations, our value, simply by donating. It's as simple as that. Because every time you give $1, it becomes $2. Give $1,000, it becomes $2,000. If you give $10,000, it becomes $20,000. Pretty amazing. And you can watch it all multiply right in front of your very eyes when you hit the donate button at unitetoheal.com. We continue to harp on the theme that Amudim, after all these years, is a well-known, proven commodity in our community, and one that unfortunately is very necessary, and that's fielding tens of thousands of calls a year. Now it's time for all of us to respond and to make sure that we are there for Amudim. Let's get to that goal together right now. And please share with your family and friends and those who you know understand the importance of Amudim and appreciate the importance of Amudim, that they as well should be participating. Ask them to go to unitetoheal.com right now and hit the donate button. We have 3 guests here in our studio at Flow Motion in Brooklyn, New York. And they represent 𝐷𝐴RCHENU. They, in fact, are called the 𝐷𝐴RCHENU panel. Mrs. Shira Berkowitz is here, the program director. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Rabbi Yisrael Grossberg is Rabbinic Educational Director. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Rabbi Avi Landa is here, LCPC Director of Education. 𝐷𝐴RCHENU and Our Path SEL are culturally aligned, clinically informed social emotional learning, that's SEL, social emotional learning programs developed specifically for the Jewish community. 𝐷𝐴RCHENU serves the yeshiva and Haredi communities. Our Path serves the broader Jewish day school and modern Orthodox world, and together they form the first fully built Torah-guided SEL curriculum spanning grades 5 through 12 with post-high school tracks for yeshivas and seminaries. These are not one-time workshops or assemblies. They are structured, sequenced, multi-year programs that embed essential emotional and life skills into a child's education. And I would say to the entire panel, boy, have we come a long way as a community, to say the least. Mrs. Berkowitz, we'll start with you. Tell me more about what you teach in 𝐷𝐴RCHENU and in a typical Our Path SEL class.
Sure. So 𝐷𝐴RCHENU and Our Path SEL are taught as a once-a-week class, so it's about a 30 to 40-minute period for every single week, 5th through 12th grade and post-seminary. The kinds of topics that we cover, so social emotional learning encompasses 3 skill sets. Skill set number 1 is your personal skill set. That's everything I need to be a healthy person. So we're looking at things like emotion regulation, including stress, anger management. We're looking at healthy decision-making, which affects everything that we do. Goal setting, self-awareness, healthy body image. Once we're healthy ourselves, we move into the second skill set, which is your social skill set. Everything I need to be able to interact with others in a healthy way. So those are all of your social skills, your communication skills. My favorite, conflict resolution. I always tell my students, this is literally the secret to having healthy relationships for the rest of your life. If you
and a 7th grader, for example, can internalize all of this?
We start teaching it in 6th grade, and we bring it down to their level.
Well, I'm just giving an example. Yeah. That's amazing.
We use a 6th grade example for 6th grade, and we use a marriage example when we talk about seminary.
I mean, when I grew up, they said there's nothing better than conflict, and here we're trying to resolve and make sure that people are socially dealing with things properly. It really is amazing. Rabbi Landa, what does a 𝐷𝐴RCHENU, Our Path SEL class look like, and do you do anything that's actually interactive with the students?
Sure. So because we want to appeal to all age groups, we need to make it super interactive.
Right.
We need to make sure that there's buy-in from the kids. One of the things that I like to say about the beauty of SEL curriculum is actually outside the abbreviation SEL, but that it's a curriculum. When we teach things and we repeat it in different venues and different formats and then upgrade it in the maturity level from year to year, that's really how a child can learn these skills and really internalize them. So we want to try to make the classes interactive so that they're memorable. Many times
Does that mean fun at all?
Yes, it can mean
Seriously?
fun. Seriously, it can mean fun. Many times the memory that they'll get that will stay with them is that fun activity that was in some of the classes. Just as a couple of examples, we are doing some vaping education for the kids at a younger age already. We want them to understand the dangers involved. And so one idea that we're putting into the curriculum now is to actually get a kid to volunteer who can hold their breath for a long time. So everyone likes to compete a little bit. And one child will come up, they'll hold their breath maybe for a minute, and then I'll tell them, okay, now let's refresh, and now try holding your breath again while you're doing jumping jacks. And it's a really fun visual. The Rebbeim like to see it, kind of their Talmidim do it, like put pictures in their newsletter. And the child can hold their breath for less than half the amount of time because they're using up the oxygen in their lungs. So again, just a cute, fun way to give over the idea that when we jeopardize the lungs, obviously the jumping jacks is healthy, but when we do it in an unhealthy way and it sticks with us even long after we've stopped, it's something that can cause big problems. One prop that I actually brought in for you, Nachum, is when we talk about...
And we discovered something interesting about this prop. I'll discuss in a minute. Go ahead, introduce it to everybody.
These are actually colloquially called drunk goggles. So these mimic the visual impairment.
You would use this with which grades? All of them?
Definitely in high school.
Right.
Definitely in high school. It can be used with younger children as well, but definitely in high school.
More prone to drinking and all that, right?
More prone to that and to driving.
Right.
This is particularly in terms of education and awareness and prevention regarding drinking and driving, which we know is such a huge...
Deadly
and a huge problem and has tremendous emotional consequences beyond what we can imagine. And so we use this as a super fun way that we teach, obviously, all the information. We have some videos that we show, and then we allow one of the children to volunteer in front of the class. We make a path with some tape on the floor, and we have them walk the line wearing these goggles, mimicking the visual impairment. I'd actually invite you to just put them on for a second.
I did this before, and I want to tell the audience, because maybe not everybody understands the danger of drinking. But I put these on earlier, and I could do it right now for a moment, because we joked about whether I would put these on during this show and then try to stand up and walk. I could barely sit and keep these on, frankly, and there's no way in the world I could stand up while wearing these. And you said that there's a formula, meaning that if someone has how many drinks?
These goggles are designed, there's different goggles. These specifically are designed for about 6 or 7 drinks, and the visual impairment that's associated with that. A drink, again, this is part of the education, can be a shot of whiskey, a glass of wine, a bottle of beer.
You know, what's interesting is that, and I'm sorry I continuously refer back to my era, but if this type of education or program would have been around, then those kids that I knew who were smoking in summer camp would probably have gone in a different direction when it comes to that. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 100%.
Unbelievable. Thank God we have this now.
Prevention is the key.
Rabbi Grossberg, we say Dar Ch-inu is Torah-based. So far, our guests have described what an effective SEL curriculum is all about. Where does the Torah come into this whole system?
Right. So you heard really some really great stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then the question is, how do you get it into the yeshivas?
Right.
How do you make
it relevant to our
culturally sensitive, but yet at the same time, also for the child to understand?
Mm-hmm.
A lot, ein davar chadash tachas hashemesh. A lot of what we're seeing that people are learning now through various different psychological methodologies, etc., are really, they're from Chazal. And every part of the curriculum brings in really something beautiful, whether it be from a Michtav Meliyahu, whether it be from the Chumash.
Give us an example of that? Like, I don't want to do it on the spot.
Yeah, it's just funny because I was looking before just about self-actualization, right? So the idea of atzmi, and this was really, I am to teach the curriculum as well, so in seminary. And seminary, it's a time where a girl is really kind of finding their way. You know, up until now, they haven't necessarily been an individual.
And really examining their whole existence more than in high school.
Right. Yeah. And so self-actualization, kind of, feeling your way around. Rav Wolbe Zatzal in Ali Shur has such a beautiful piece about understanding who you are, getting to know yourself. And to go through that together with this, it's, it's kind of, Musar Shmooze, but it's all evidence-based.
And it fits
so
right in.
It kind of, it has, and we want to be able to go to yeshiva and not have them question the validity, not have them question.
Right.
The reality of the community is that
we have Jewish sources.
People are skeptical. People are skeptical. People hear, SEL, what does that mean? But when they really see that the quote unquote the proof is in the pudding in terms of what is there, and one other point to bring out is that the reality is as the outside world moves a little bit further and further away from our values, it becomes that much more important to have something that yeshivas are comfortable with. Maybe there was a time where you go online, you can find an SEL program for maybe, we hear this. Find something for half the price. I said, are you comfortable? Look at it. Are you comfortable teaching that in your class? You just, without going into various specifics, it's not the time, but there's.
Yeah. And we're here with Amudim and always discussing how so many problems in the general community seep into our community. It's a reality and it's got to be dealt with. And if you could do it while you add the whole Torah component to it, it's only beneficial, obviously, to everybody. This is for everybody and anybody who wants to address this. Do you need buy-in from the parents? Because I can imagine there's some parents who would be like, do me a favor, my kid never heard of vaping, don't introduce the concept to them, et cetera, et cetera. Is that, and that's just one example I'm giving, is that an issue? Anybody?
I think part of the comprehensive program, I didn't mean to jump in.
No, please.
Is that we offer support. In other words, when a school takes the 𝐷𝐴RCHENU program, they take one of us along with it.
Right.
And we offer support. For example, we will come down to meet with the parents. We have parent letters prepared to go out to the parents to discuss. In other words, it's not just, here's the curriculum, hatzlacha, and we'll see you. But
go home and tell your parents what you heard.
Right. No, and specifically before the more sensitive topics, there's even letters that go out again, that we've written for the schools to send out, so that parents are aware. And if parent dafka doesn't want their child in for that class, they might have that option. But generally speaking, I think parents are realizing this day and age.
Of course. How
Everyone
did the
needs
three of you become experts in SEL? Like, is there a curriculum that you have to go to and you have to keep up with? I assume it's something you do have to keep up with because things are ever changing, no?
Yep.
Please.
Just to add to what Rabbi Grossberg said, we train and we supervise every single teacher. And your question is a great question. That's part of the training. We talk about how we find that balance between empowering our children with knowledge, but at the same time not exposing them to new things.
Wow.
And we talk about that, and then in supervision, we're always like juggling what these students have to know. And that's why we have our path SEL for modern Orthodox community schools and 𝐷𝐴RCHENU for the more Haredi schools.
Because everybody's being exposed to different things in their community.
Yeah.
And the curriculum is fully customizable. So we can have two different schools and they'll speak to us and we'll customize the curriculum for them, for their needs, for whatever they might be concerned about.
Right, because certain things may have hit one school that has not hit others, and they need to address that.
But if I could just put out a statement, every fifth grader has heard of vaping.
Simple as that.
Let's just say that.
And we're talking about every avenue of our community.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It's unbelievable, I'll tell you. We're here for Amudim. The three of you are certainly on the front lines of preventative measures and trying your hardest to do what you can for the children and families. Anybody want to address why it's important to support this cause and how they're there on the front lines for everybody?
Yeah, one thing that I'll just add, you referenced it, is how much we need to stay current and update the curriculum, and that requires a lot. It's not just you buy the curriculum the way in which it was developed years ago and you just take it and use it. It's something that needs to stay current. It needs to update. We're working on made from scratch 𝐷𝐴RCHENU animation series videos for the Torah community, for the Torah day schools. We need to stay current in terms of the curriculum topics, and we're constantly writing curriculum and updating curriculum. So in order to do that, it takes a lot of resources, and we're fortunate to partner with Amudim, to have Amudim really guiding us every step of the way and supporting us, but we need all the support we can get.
Because we've been talking about, again, preventative measures, getting into the schools, doing programs that, as you described, and I wanted to be clear because Gabi just messaged me and he's right. I should have mentioned that this 𝐷𝐴RCHENU is an Amudim project.
Exactly.
And if we talk about Amudim formalizing this entire piece, they've done it with this organization or this arm of the organization. So when you're supporting Amudim and you're going ahead and tossing in a few dollars or more to tonight's effort to get to our goal, you are supporting real prevention in schools and helping them expose in a proper way, all these experts expose in a proper way, our children to what they need to be aware of and how to deal with these situations. All of you should be lauded for that. Robbie, you wanted to add something?
I just want to say, like Tzvi likes to say, that as 𝐷𝐴RCHENU becomes more successful, we'll put Amudim out of business.
Let's hope. God, I hope that comes true.
But that's the goal.
100%. So finally, how do you know the program is successful? Again, for any and all of you, how do you know that it's successful in the long run? I know we're going toward closing down Amudim. That would be a great show of success. But what can you tell us practically that you see the results of all this?
Unfortunately, it's not going to close down Amudim. There's always going to be, unfortunately, abuse and mental illness and dysfunction. However, I do believe that for the majority, for Rov Am, for the majority of our students who come hopefully from healthy families, this prevention really should impact tremendously. I can give you both just general stats and then kind of anecdotal. But general RPEth, social emotional learning statistics out there, and there's been a lot of data on this. Students that have a comprehensive SEL curriculum, it's been proven they get better grades, are less in therapy, are less on drugs, get into better colleges, have lower rates of divorce down the line, going back to our conflict resolution that I was telling you about, one of my favorites that I'm most passionate about.
That's years later.
Years later, it's been proven. It's been proven also that for every dollar spent in prevention in SEL in the classroom, we're looking at saving $11 of intervention. But anecdotally, I will tell you that I'm teaching social emotional learning curriculum for 22 years in the Jewish schools. This is really my passion, and I can share so many stories, but the amount of students that have come forth and shared with me, whether they're struggling, their friends are struggling, and have then gotten help for budding eating disorders or anxiety or whatever it may be. But one specific story, and I've shared it before on camera a couple years ago, I think. A student called a few years after she graduated. She called the office looking for me, and I gave her a call back, and she said, "Hey, Mrs. Berkowitz, do you remember a number of years ago in 12th grade when we talked about how to look for the signs of control and abuse when you're dating?" She said, "Can you go through that again with me, because I lost that handout you gave me, and I'm dating someone, and I think I'm seeing some of those red flags." So we spoke. I went through the list with her. We processed, and she said, "Mrs. Berkowitz, I think I need to break up with him." We don't always get to know the end of the story, not with my students, not with my clients, but I did see her months later. I was teaching in elementary school, and she came to pick up her younger sister. And I said, "Hey, so-and-so, so great to see you." Gave her a big hug, and then I saw a ring on her finger. And I said, "You're engaged." She's glow on her face. I said, "Tell me about your chassan." And she said, "Mrs. Berkowitz, he treats me like a princess."
That's wonderful. That's great. A happy and wonderful way to wrap this up. I thank this distinguished panel, and you all join me in asking everybody to support Amudim. And let's hope people
come. No-brainer.
100%.
And I would just add that parents who are listening to the program, reach out to your schools. Let your schools know that you're aware of this program. Reach out to us. We're happy to share resources with the parents directly as well, but especially to
if I would name a school, chances are you're already in there or not?
We're in a lot of schools, but
not all of them.
No, definitely not. No.
Principals have to act. And as you just said, parents can make the recommendation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, amazing. This distinguished panel joins me in asking everybody to continue to support Amudim and 𝐷𝐸𝐻 and continue to take preventative measures within our schools and within our community to help youngsters as young as 5th and 6th grade and all the way through high school and beyond to deal with situations in a proper way, in a constructive way, and really build a skill set that's valuable for the rest of their lives. So please help support 𝐷𝐸𝐻. You do that by helping to support Amudim. Help us get to our goal tonight. We're in hour number 35 of these 36 hours. We've really got to get to the finish line in a wonderful fashion. Over 2,800 people have donated, and over $2.3 million has already been raised. Go to unitetoheal.com and recommend to everybody else in your lives to go to that website. Every single dollar you give is doubled. You could double the impact and double the value. The next fun little song is a song about Achdus. It's sung by our good friend Moshe Tischler and produced by our good friend Aryeh Kunstler, with a guest appearance by the one and only Yoel Shmuel. It's called Achdus, or at least it's a song about Achdus. Here it is at Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim.
כל יסוד ערבים, כל יסוד חברים, הנה מה טוב, הנה ומנעים, כל ישרו ערבים, כל ישרו חברים. הנה מה טוב, הנה ומנעים, כל ישרו ערבים, כל ישרו חברים. הנה מה טוב, הנה ומנעים, כל ישרו ערבים, כל ישרו חברים. שבס רחים, שבס רחים, אחים גם יוחד. א' חס ד' בסוף, אחים ביחד. א' חס ד' כאיש אחד בלב אחד. א' חס ד' בסוף, אחים ביחד, כאיש אחד בלב אחד. כל ישראל, ישראל. א' חס ד' בסוף, אחים ביחד. א' חס ד' כאיש אחד בלב אחד. א' חס ד' בסוף, אחים ביחד, כאיש אחד בלב אחד. כל ישראל, ישראל. הנה מה טוב, הנה ומנעים, כל ישרו ערבים, כל ישרו חברים. הנה מה טוב, הנה ומנעים, כל ישרו חברים. שבס אחים, שבס אחים, אחים גם יוחד. חס ד' בסוף, אחים ביחד. א' חס ד' כאיש אחד בלב אחד. א' חס ד' בסוף, אחים ביחד, כאיש אחד בלב אחד. כל ישראל, ישראל. א' חס ד' בסוף, אחים ביחד. א' חס ד' כאיש אחד בלב אחד. א' חס ד' בסוף, כאיש אחד בלב אחד. כל ישראל, ישראל. Let me hear you sing. Aleph, Ches, Daleth, Bosov. Aleph, Ches, Daleth, Bosov. Aleph, Ches, Daleth, Bosov. Aleph, Ches, Daleth, Bosov.
This is what we do for you, Amudim.
This is why I brought these songs.
Amudim, yeah. Seriously. Can't feel my fingers.
Amudim warms you.
We're at Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim. $2.3 million. An incredible show of support from our community worldwide. It's 65% of our goal. We're hoping to reach that goal before 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. We need your help to get to $3.5 million. Make sure to give and give generously. Everything you give is being doubled. You can double the value and double the impact of your pledge right now, of your donation, I should say, at unitetoheal.com, unitetoheal.com, and encourage everybody in your life, family and friends, to give and give generously right now. Rabbi Yisrael Grossberg, you're still here, part of our panel. Weren't you just here with the 𝐷𝐸 team?
True, but I guess my connection here has a lot of different facets to it. And I sometimes explain this when I'm talking about an organization. So some people may remember there was a commercial, a very popular commercial a number of years back for Hair Club for Men.
Right.
There was a fellow by the name of Cy Sperling.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah. So he, if I would have known then, would I know? Okay, whatever. But,
what did he say? I'm not just the owner. I'm a customer.
Right. So he goes through a whole spiel.
Right.
And then he says at the very end, and I know this because I'm not just the owner, but I'm also a participant.
Right.
And somehow or another, that really caught on. So even though, if you look at the commercial, it like, why is this exciting? But it resonated with people when someone could say, I don't just like believe in it, I actually use it. So when I say about Amudim, I don't just believe in it, I've had the opportunity to be part of it from the other end as well. And as a father of my precious daughter, who went through some struggles in her life, and Amudim was very helpful. And I can say as a parent, when talking about, not on the outside, talking from the inside.
You're an insider.
In the trenches of where Amudim is there, kind of holding hands and just really being there, helping.
As Rabbi Grossberg has told us, Siri is here visiting us. Welcome to you.
Hi.
At what point did you realize that there was a problem that you needed to address?
It started probably when I was about a teenager, with the usual experimenting of substances and some mental health struggles, but a full-blown issue by the time I was about 16 years old. And, back then Amudim was not really around, but I went to rehab and I did the programs. And my story with Amudim was after I got clean and a couple years down the road, I needed some more help. And I picked up the phone and called them, and they played a huge role in helping continue my success in maintaining my recovery.
Okay, so we're going to get to Amudim again in a moment. The initial recovery scenario, how difficult is that? What do you remember from that whole experience?
It's a lot. I don't think that there's possibly a way to fully describe addiction where you're doing something that you don't want to do, it's not good for you, and you can't help it. You have to keep doing it. I mean, that's basically what addiction is. But it was this over and over process where I was physically addicted to the drugs, and I really had no options. I went in and out of treatment programs over and over again, and I really tried, but it wasn't a simple solution.
Wow. And then the Amudim piece, you just said that even though they weren't around back then, once they were around, they were very helpful. In what way?
There's something to be said, the whole process of getting help, and when you call and you need support, there's so many different programs, there's so many different facets to it of different therapy, rehab, detox, what different programs to navigate and figure out what you need. Amudim puts you with a caseworker who fully helped me understand the process, understand what I needed, the level of care that I needed, how much I needed, and made sure that I followed through and I got myself to get the help I needed.
Wow. You make an amazing presentation. You seem fantastic. Are you doing well right now?
Yeah, I think that's, an important part to put a face behind the stories that we hear, because I have a wonderful life right now. I am a mother of children. I am a member of a community. I am a great friend, and I have 12 years drug-free, and I've worked really hard for that.
I can only imagine. Rabbi Grossberg, your take on this entire... Boy, you must be a proud father.
I'm just taking it all in.
Your take on this entire situation, how family was, I assume, an important part of all this?
Right. I Baruch Hashem, happy endings are great, but they don't... you don't always get to the ending. It's a very scary place to be. And now, as I work in different parts of Amudim besides 𝐻𝐸, so I can tell people, I'm not just a user, but it's a very scary place to be. It's a very lonely place to be, because you're not exactly, in shul, when you're talking to your friends, and one guy's saying, well, I'm trying to get my daughter into this school, I'm trying to get my daughter into rehab. It just doesn't go by kiddush, Having someone to talk to who gets it, understands it, and really cares, like the Amudim. I mean, I interact a lot with the caseworkers. It's amazing. It's like a lifeline, So I've been there. I've been in that lonely place. I've been in that place where you just don't know who to speak. Okay, Baruch Hashem, I was very lucky that I did have a Rav who I can speak to, but not everyone is comfortable going to their Rav with things like this, and it's really it's without being like over dramatic, but it's like literally like being alone in a forest and someone comes and say, hey, let me give you a hand, and and walk you through.
So, Siri, I don't think this is your responsibility, although it's probably not for me to evaluate, but do you ever address young people who might be in a similar situation, or, I don't know, take advantage of the opportunity to warn those who are younger about what could happen to them?
Besides your siblings.
Yeah, my 4 siblings have gotten this riot act from me. But
and they're doing well, I'm sure.
Yes, they all know. But I mean, 100%, I think that drug education is so important, especially for the younger kids today, you know, that don't know enough about it, don't know enough about the dangers. I was really a clueless teenager that was just trying to have fun, and I thought it would be fun, and it was fun until it wasn't, and I think
well, what you said earlier, that you know you're doing something that's harmful to you,
yes,
yet you can't prevent it. That's such an amazing insight, you know.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how many times and how many addicts out there are screaming inside that they want some help, and they don't want to keep doing the behaviors that they're doing and keep acting the way that they are. But that's kind of what the addiction is. It really takes a hold of you and controls you for a really long time.
Right. And all of this experience, as negative as it was, I would have to assume helps going forward, helps build a family, helps in the whole process of just interpersonal relationships. It's got to be.
Yeah, I found that it definitely gave me a nice outlook on the world of, you know, really feeling gratitude for all the small things in my life and learning how to appreciate what I have. It's helped.
Gratitude, being grateful. These are lessons all of us, whether we've gotten to the depths of a situation or not. It's something we can all learn from. Well, as I said earlier about one of our prior guests, I find you to be heroic, frankly, sharing all this and being here today. And because of your experience with Amudim, as you described it, you know, years after everything had happened, I'm sure you enthusiastically encourage people to give and keep supporting the organization.
100%. This is definitely a worthy place to, you know, put our money behind.
Pleasure to meet you.
You too.
Rabbi Grossberg, 𝐶
`Baruch
Thank you so much for joining us.
Can I just add one?
Sure.
I just want to say that one of the things that to keep the parent-child relationship going under these trying circumstances, and you know, we're far from perfect, but that's also something that Amudim is there for. I mean, we can't underscore enough the importance of when a case manager almost translates to the parent who's clueless what is going on with their child. They are creating the opportunity for shalom that would not necessarily be there. So it's not a small thing that when the case manager speaking to the parents said, you have to understand your daughter is going through X, Y, and Z, or maybe that reaction is not the best, etc. They're doing it. It's really lifesaving because you know, Baruch Hashem, we have a great relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. In front of everybody, right? but you know, but there were people on the outside because we didn't know what we were doing as parents.
Even parents need guidance, huh? I mean, let's not tell that to kids.
Let's go with especially parents.
Especially parents need guidance. A big thank you to Tziri, a big thank you to Rabbi Grossberg and everybody out there. Come on, you're hearing stories like this and you're finding out about the importance of the Amudim organization. Now is the time. We're getting into the home stretch. They're helping people like Tziri all around the world on a regular basis, and I literally mean all around the world, as we saw yesterday when we spoke about what's going on with Amudim in Israel. So please give and give now. Everything you give is being doubled. You double your impact. You double the value of the donation, and you keep Amudim going. And this is a really important fundraiser. We're trying to get to $3.5 million. We're at 65% of the goal so far, and this can be done in the next 90-plus minutes. We could reach our goal, and we need your help to do so. So please encourage everybody to go to the website, unitetoheal.com, and to join this amazing effort. We have a song that we're introducing to you. Our good friend Eli Schwebel has composed and sings a brand new song entitled Whole With You. It's about mental health, and it was created, and it's performed in honor of all the holy people who work for Amudim. Eli Schwebel is next. Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim. Keep those donations coming.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eli Schwebel, and I'm honored to be here. I am so grateful that this organization exists. Most of you watching will never know what these people go through. But everybody knows somebody who's in a situation like this, and we don't want to talk about it. It's very painful to talk about these things, and it takes courage. It's hard to look at this side of our community. It's hard to see this side of ourselves. And Amudim is able to do that. Amudim is dedicated to taking care of all of the people that you don't want to take care of. That's the truth. I needed to write this song. This song allowed me to at least express a little bit of what I was going through and gave me a little bit of reprieve, and I hope this does that for you, for all of the broken people, everyone who feels that brokenness. I present this to you in honor of you, in honor of Amudim, in honor of all of the people that work for Amudim, that take care of all of our people, all of our beautiful, holy people. I present to you, whole with you.
We are the broken people, living our lonely lives. All of the good and evil, we are the broken people. We are the broken people, wandering through the night, longing for what is needful. We are the broken people. We are. We are all together. I am whole with you. We are the holy people, shattered to shine our light, warriors of the peaceful. We are the broken people. We are. We are all together. I am whole with you. We are beautifully born people. We are beautifully born people.
Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim. Here we are, about an hour and a half left to get to our goal. We're at 66%, $2.31 million, looking to get to $3.5 million. That's been the original goal from the very start of our 36-hour live stream for Amudim. Continue to be as generous as possible. If you've given, why not give again? Thousands of people have already given. If everybody tosses in a little bit more, we can get to that goal. And those of you who haven't given yet, those are the people we really want to see respond. Hop to it, as we say. Make sure to give and give generously. Everything you give, $100 becomes $200, $180 becomes $360, $10,000 becomes $20,000. That's how the doubling works in the world of fundraising, and we want to get to our goal as soon as possible. Be as generous as you can. Rabbi David Kushner is here, Director of Government Relations and Special Projects for Amudim, also in charge of crisis response for Amudim. A pleasure to welcome you to Unite to Heal, I should say.
It's a pleasure to be with you again, Nachum.
Why is this campaign so vital?
So, to me, this campaign really does three things. Obviously, everybody recognizes that it's a fundraiser to raise much-needed funds to cover the budget.
Right.
So when a crisis does arise and when people need help, that those funds are available at a moment's notice. You don't want to wait till a crisis comes to have to start raising funds, because that would then delay the ability to respond in a timely manner. But more than that, it also raises awareness. It increases the conversations. It puts the issues that we deal with, especially with mental health, abuse, addiction, so on and so forth. It puts them in the forefront of people's minds and on their lips.
There are things we discussed in the last 90 minutes that many people were never even aware of.
But there's also a third thing. It allows our community, it allows 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄 in the world to stand up in mass numbers. We're looking at almost 3,000 donors at this point, and the numbers climbing. It allows our community to stand up in a strong and unified voice to say, we stand with the victims, we stand with the survivors, we stand with shoulder to shoulder with those who need the support.
How long have you been with Amudim?
Officially, I think about 8 years.
Wow.
But unofficially, since its inception and before its inception, when 𝐋𝐈𝐕 and I were working on cases before there was an official organization together.
Wow. And now it's all formalized and you have an amazing system in place and it's international.
Yes, it is.
People are case managers, and those in your offices are taking tens of thousands of calls a year. It's pretty amazing what's happening.
It's phenomenal. And without the support of the community at campaigns like this, it would still be, 𝐋𝐈𝐕 sitting in his car in his father's footsteps, as a one-man show. But there's so much more we could do.
It's funny because one of the recommendations I got based on your appearance here is to speak about what you'd like to see Amudim accomplish. But the reality is that the list of accomplishments so far has been amazing. I mean, is there a direction they need to go in, or is there something that needs to be implemented that just hasn't been addressed yet?
So I think, to me, the home run, the long-term goal would be, if you look at the work Amudim is doing now, because of the demand of the community and the demands of the services out there, right now they're probably spending 80 to 85% of their time, energy, and resources, the staff, on response, and 15-20% on education and prevention.
Right.
And to me, a grand slam. Listen, I don't have any delusions that there's never going to be somebody that has.
But the preventative piece, you'd like to see.
Where there's never going to ever be someone abused again.
Right.
But if we could change through education and prevention the demand that we're able then to spend 80-85% on prevention and 15% on response, and reverse those numbers, that to me would be a home run, and that's the long-term win to me.
Your role is in the area of government relations. Does that take you to interesting places and give you an opportunity to spread the word about Amudim in interesting circles?
It certainly does. We deal with a lot of, in the area that I deal with, which I am not a clinician, I'm not on the clinical side, but in the area I deal with government relations, some of the crisis response, I have the opportunity and really the 𝐔𝐲 to deal with many government officials and government agencies, both political and bureaucratic, both, and an opportunity to really make a Kiddush Hashem. And
they're learning about Amudim from you.
Sure. And the response from them is phenomenal. When they see and they recognize based on experience that every time we come to them, we're not coming to them for a personal favor for us or a donor or a friend or a family member, but we're coming to them for assistance on a community member that's in crisis, that has a legitimate crisis, whether it's related to insurance, whether it's related to programming, whether it's related to travel-related things,
right,
as we've spoken
during
about
COVID,
in previous years.
Sure.
I mean, we have offices both in 𝐻𝐸 and America, and we've dealt with clients from almost every continent in I think 46 or 47 of the 50 states here in the U.S., and when somebody's in crisis and doesn't have the proper documents, we have to figure out how to navigate that. We have to figure out how to navigate that.
Tonight, you heard a gambling addiction story. You heard a drug addiction story. We've had a lot of really serious conversations here just tonight, and of course,
I mean, you guys heard that just tonight. We
that's
hear
what I was going
it,
to
we
say.
hear it on our
this.
phone.
I don't want to say you're immune to it, but this is typical for you. I mean, you hear these types of stories on a daily basis, and this is what's going on in the community from your perspective.
I'll tell you, when I sit and I listen during the campaign, and after the campaign, we watch some of the videos, and they'll all be available online.
Right.
But it actually makes me very emotional. Because when you're the one on the phone with them, you can't get emotional in that moment. But when you sit back and you watch it, someone else, wow.
And you consider what they're going through.
How many times myself or 𝐔𝐸𝐬, our case managers, are on the other line of that. It's gut-wrenching.
Yeah. One of the things I hope people understand, and this is, again, one of the reasons I hope they respond tonight, I hope everybody out there watching responds with generous donations. They need to remember, all of us need to remember that it's happening on a daily basis, that everything we're discussing tonight is, you wake up in the morning and there are going to be calls like this, and you go to sleep at night and there's going to be situations
and it doesn't take a break on Shabbos or Yom Tov either.
Right, 24/7.
Does not take a break on Shabbos or Yom Tov either. Our clinical director, Rabbi Gluck, myself.
And not to get
oftentimes we deal with Shabbos emergencies. There are Rabbanim involved with Amudim.
And not to get too, not to bring everybody down, but you've dealt with situations that are way beyond the ones we're talking about tonight so far. I mean, you've dealt with situations where young people felt there was no need to continue living, and that must be just, I mean, how does one even describe being a witness to and being involved in a case like that?
You can't describe it. I mean, the one thing that I think sets Amudim apart from many of the other social service agencies out there is that when we were founded by Rabbi Gluck together with Mendy Klein, there was a level of empathy. Sympathy is a good thing. There's a lot of people that are sympathetic, that feel bad for others. But they approached it with an empathy, as if every single person who needed help was their son, their brother, their mother, their father, their niece, nephew, neighbor, chavrusa, v'chulu, v'chulu. And that foundation in which Amudim was started by the two of them has really continued and really struck a chord, I think, with our entire staff.
When people help, they're helping family.
That's right.
Because, hey, you can't deny that the Jewish community, especially in light of the last couple of years, doesn't feel like one big happy family.
100%.
So when you help Amudim, you're really helping people in our family who are going through a lot of crazy stuff.
100%.
Unbelievable. David, here's the opportunity. Look at the camera. Tell everybody they've got to give, and they got to make tonight a big, big success.
Listen, we're not letting anybody go home till we reach our goal.
What?
You're with us now.
Holy cow!
You're staying here. You're staying.
This is how you break the news to me?
What's that? You're staying here with us. We're all going to work hard.
Till 3.5 million, huh?
Rabbi Say, there's a lot of people out there suffering, and they need our support. And when I say our, I don't mean Amudim's support. Yes, they need the support of Amudim, and they need the support of our clinical team and our case managers, but they need the community support also.
Yeah.
Obviously, the large donations are great and wonderful, and please donate as much as you can. But if you can only donate in small amounts, donate whatever you can, because the more names and the more people that those that are suffering see standing up together with them, the more impactful this campaign is for them, and the more kayach it gives them to continue fighting and standing up.
And why don't you recommend what you've been doing? Because for the last few days, even before the campaign began its 36 hours, you've been encouraging people through email and WhatsApp and whatever direction you can to get involved, even if they're not actively watching. Just if they know about Amudim, you're trying to convince them, hey, toss in something so we can get to our goal.
Increase the conversation.
100%.
Raise awareness, raise support, raise funds also. But those that are suffering out there need to know that we as a community are standing up for them.
How's your campaign page going? Are you happy with it or not?
So I always have two goals on my campaign. I have a dollar amount and a donor amount.
Right.
So my donor amount was 500 donors for my page and $180,000.
Have we reached either one?
They made me put my phone down before I sat down with you.
Were you close before you sat down?
I was pretty close before I sat down.
That's what you're proud
So
of.
help me reach that line. Help me over my finish line on my page. You can donate on my page, but really just donate on anyone's page or not on any page. Just stand up and show those that need the support that we as a community are here for them.
Thank you for helping us with this effort tonight. And thanks for having us here.
Thank you, Nachum. We really appreciate you, and you're a big part of this campaign success.
I appreciate that very much. Everybody out there, you want to hear how you could be a big part of this campaign success? I know we keep saying it, but hey, we're getting toward the deadline. It's 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time, and we want to be at our goal by the latest 9 o'clock. I'd prefer if we were at the goal even earlier than that. The goal is $3.5 million. That's $3.5 million. We're approaching $2.5 million. So this is a really doable situation over the next hour and 20 minutes. Help us get to 3.5 million. We're at 66% of the goal, which means that 2/3 of the people that we need to contribute have already done so. Let's get that last third. Let's get that last 33% in, and let's start doing it right now. UniteToHeal.com. You know where the donate button is. You know how great all the content's been over the last 34 and a half hours. Keep it coming. Recommend to your friends and relatives, those who've heard of Amudim, those who may have been helped by Amudim, those who know about what kind of proven track record Amudim has. Alert them to the fact that we're in the midst of this campaign, that it's coming to an end very, very soon, and we need their help, and that everything they give is doubled. What could be better than that? Right now, UniteToHeal.com, and again, please send it around via WhatsApp, email, whatever social media methods you prefer. Just get it out there to family and friends around the world and have them support Amudim and this very important campaign. We have a viewer discretion warning. I don't know if warning is the right word, but a viewer discretion reminder. We're about to play a clip that speaks about a first-hand account from a victim of sexual abuse. So viewer discretion is advised. Again, those of you out there who feel it might be better for some in the audience not to be part of the next few minutes, you've been given a proper warning, so to speak. And then once the clip is done, and once you've seen what it's all about, we're going to have an opportunity to speak with Dr. Norman Fried. So again, right now, a short clip that speaks about a first-hand account from a victim of sexual abuse. Viewer discretion is advised. You are with Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim.
If you tell anyone, I'll kill you, and I'll kill your whole family.
It was summertime. It was just after Christmas. So me and my sister went down to the local swimming pool. I was 8 years old. End of the day, literally everyone had left. I walked into the change rooms and I was followed in there by this man.
Unfortunately, Nathan's story is not uncommon, but it is uncommon for a man to tell his story.
You know, things were good for a while, but I turned to drugs. I was shooting heroin. I was smoking crack. I was selling my body for sex. I realized it was now or never. You know, I needed to tell someone about what happened to me. If I could go back and speak to my 8-year-old self, what would I tell him? I would tell this little boy, I would tell myself that it wasn't my fault, that it wasn't his fault.
Our good friend Dr. Norman Fried is here. Dr. Fried is a clinical psychologist specializing in trauma and abuse in the lives of children. He's author of 5 books on the subject of surviving loss. He is the producer of a documentary feature film about the impact of child sex abuse on our developing youth. and it is currently in contention for Best Documentary at the Academy Awards of 2026. And I know that the awards is not the most important thing, but nonetheless, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
An amazing feeling being recognized like that.
I'll tell you why it's an amazing feeling, Nachum, because if the Academy is able to recognize this film, they're recognizing everyone in the world that is in great need of attention and support because of a situation that's happening way too often in our world. 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 6 boys are sexually abused before the age of 18, and that's only the numbers that are reported, not the numbers of people who are hiding in shame and silence.
You have a unique insight into this. We see why. That trailer is amazing. How do we help victims, from your point of view, heal from this traumatic pain?
Well, the movie itself talks about shows the arc of a one-man's story of abuse and then descent into drug and alcohol abuse, and then finding psychotherapy, finding religion, finding God, and ultimately finding a way to heal and live a better life. In individual therapy, I work with children and adults who were children who were abused, and I work very much both through the process of emunah and faith, and their ability to actually reconnect with people in a safe relationship. So the way that we help children heal is to develop safe and secure attachments and a sense that they can effect change in their life since power has been taken away from them. And of course, always a belief in a higher power, in Hashem, who is the greatest listener as well as the greatest healer.
Wow. I would assume there are specific techniques that are used in these therapy sessions. What are those like?
The first, of course, is to allow the person to feel safe in your presence. And then sometimes we do play therapy, which is symbolic imagery and nonverbal language that is expressed through the games, through the play. So a child will come in and play chess, perhaps, and the parents will say to me, all you're doing is playing chess every Tuesday night. And I say, it looks that way. And it is that way to the boy, but I'm establishing a sense of safety. But the way he wins the game, or the way he loses the game, or the way he throws the game if he thinks he's losing, tells me a lot about what's happening on the inside of him. Children who have been through a traumatic experience like child abuse will show you in their play what they went through. They don't use direct language. They'll say things such, they'll take a pencil and they'll use the pencil in a way that was used, that they experienced it upon themselves when they were abused. And so a dinosaur or a doll in my office becomes the stimulant for some greater expression of need. And then through symbolic play, we move to reparative play, which is helping the child recognize that not only do they have to tell their story in their own way, but they can also begin to believe that in telling their story, healing begins. Now, sorry.
No, I was going to say, can they be repaired as adults? I mean, can they get to the point of reparation?
Absolutely. I believe very much in the process of healing. Please remember that healing is not a past tense word. No one is fully healed from a trauma.
You're always healing.
We are always healing. It's present tense. In Hebrew, we say "havanti." In English, we say "I'm understanding." We say that every day we have the chance to heal more and more, both with dveikut and a connection to our God, as well as with a connection to a healthy, caring other who has appropriate boundaries. Now, for older folks who are talking about the abuse from when they were younger, it's very important that there's someone that can hear their story in all of its gory details, because in so doing, the person begins to own what happened to them as their own story. And they can then co-create with the therapist a happier ending. And in the end, the greatest listener of all is our God.
And would you say that even those who are not in a faith-based community would be benefiting from a look toward faith in that situation?
Well, Nachum, it's a beautiful question you ask, and I will tell you that when I work with folks who do not believe in a higher power or God, or say that there cannot be a God after this has happened to my child or to me.
Typical reaction, right?
Right. It's a sadly customary response. What happens is that through the establishment of a safe and secure relationship with a caring other, they begin to recognize that healing can happen, love exists, it can be safe, and they begin to believe that maybe, just maybe, there is something more powerful. There's something about the God that people say they don't believe in.
Interesting.
And I say to them, tell me about the God that you don't believe in. And sooner or later, through their expressions and through their love of the work that we do, the safety they feel, and the reconnections with healthy people, they begin to find God.
Dr. Freed, do you have a message for parents? Is there any general, guideline, something, I don't want to say warning, but something you could share with parents just as they observe their children and wonder if their kids are going through
Right. Thank you, that's important. And our movie is indeed a cautionary story about the ills of what can happen when a child is taken under the power of somebody, the influence of somebody. It's very important that parents understand that most of the time the abuse occurs around or by someone who knows the child and knows the family. And that's because the child can develop a greater sense of attachment and safety in that adult, since he seems to be liked by the community. It's rare, but it happens that someone outside of the community will be involved. Please be on the lookout, I say to all of the folks, for changes in a child's interpersonal style, their appetite, their sleeping patterns, their performance at school. Relationships will suffer, and they'll begin to express their feelings through agitation and belligerence. Remember, if we do not cry with our eyes, we will cry with another behavior, anger, or fear, or hopelessness, or we'll cry with another organ, stomach aches, back aches, Crohn's, or other kinds of GI problems. So be on the lookout for all of these things, but most importantly, don't let your child say, everything's fine. Find many and different ways to connect and embrace and let your child know, I'm here, I can take it. And if you tell me what you're hurting about, you will know that I believe you. Way too often when a child says, this happened to me, parents say, that didn't happen, it couldn't have happened. Don't talk that way to Shanda. But the most powerful words in the English language for a child who's been traumatized are, I believe you. And if we say that, when we say that, the healing begins.
You are acutely aware that Amudim deals with these types of situations.
I am deeply and acutely aware of all the beautiful work that Amudim does with all of these patients.
Right, abuse victims and those who are going through the trauma, and even those who are going through the trauma years later.
And in the years following the trauma, their recapitulation of the trauma would be through drug and alcohol abuse, or hypersexuality, or an inability to connect with others, a need to be separate and alone and untrusting. There's also something else that happens, which is known as Stockholm Syndrome, where the person who was abused suddenly finds themselves attached or attracted to more difficult and powerful people that allow them to almost re-stimulate the trauma of their childhood. It's very important that we get to the child when it's happening, and if it is in their past, we get to the child that's inside of the adult that's still hurting, because it's happening still inside of those who haven't told their story.
Wow, so many layers. It's unbelievable. As I said, you're acutely aware of the work of Amudim. We're here tonight to make sure that they have a successful campaign, and I wouldn't turn to you to appeal to this audience directly, but I would ask you to, in fact, make a recommendation to them that supporting Amudim does help people tremendously.
It's a beautiful statement, and I will tell you that supporting Amudim does so much. It does so much for those that are in need, and in terms of the direct contact with clinicians that can actually help children feel safe and tell their story and learn ways to have a better life. But it also helps those of us who are giving, because when we give, we experience the chesed, we experience the helper's high, and we recognize that not only are we helping someone that we perhaps know is in pain, but we're helping ourselves as well to improve this world through tikkun olam, through repair, and through recognizing that while we live in a broken world, it can and must be fixed.
Amazing. Well, you've given me a reason to pay attention to the Academy Awards this time around.
I hope so. I hope I get to say hi to you.
Most times it just passes on by.
I'd love to say, this is for Nachum. That would be great.
I appreciate that. But the reality is that it's such an important film, and honestly, it's not just our community, but really the whole world can benefit from it.
The whole world. And I hope it'll be on Netflix or Hulu someday so that everyone can watch it in their own living rooms. It's a very short feature, long feature. It's 41 minutes long. It is a full-length feature, but it is long enough not to overwhelm the viewer, because you're basically eavesdropping in a very intimate, vulnerable, therapeutic session with someone who's telling his story and with the experts who helped him get better.
Am I right that we met him in previous years?
He was here 2 years ago telling the story. He's right now in LA premiering the film for the two of us.
Wow. And originally he's from Australia, correct?
He is originally from Australia, Nachum. That's
Amazing.
right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Always
much.
a delight to speak with you. And congratulations. And like I said, we now have a reason to pay attention to the Academy Awards, which we generally ignore. Thank you to Dr. Norman Fried and everybody out there. You know what's happening. We're in the middle of a campaign, or actually at the very end of a campaign, because we have just over an hour remaining, over an hour left. We are at 66% of our goal. I'm not seeing these numbers move enough, but we need to see them move. $2.33 million, and we do have a realistic hope that we are going to be at the $3.5 million before we end just over an hour from now. So please give and give generously. There are a lot of people hurting in our community, children and adults who are still suffering the trauma of situations that Dr. Fried and I just discussed. You can help them and a whole host of others in unique situations, and some not such unique situations, that are going on in this country and that are going on in our community. So please support Amudim. Be as generous as you can. UniteToHeal.com. Recommend through your WhatsApp and through your email and through your whatever social media groups you might be in that everybody involved, everybody's aware of Amudim, should be contributing. Every single dollar they give is doubled. It's tremendous value for your dollar. Give and give generously. Our next song, which we could actually call a song/PSA, public service announcement, is a very powerful song for Amudim about a boy struggling with substance abuse and depression, and frankly looking for a way out. Amudim steps in time to save him. The song is composed and sung by Shner HaSofer, also known as D-Scribe, directed by Daniel Finkelman and Aaron Orion, and the executive producer of this selection is the one and only 𝐋𝐈 Gluck. Set Me Free for you right now. United to Heal. Everybody keep on giving, powered by Amudim.
There's too much noise in my head, just can't get no sleep. And I have seen my universe come crashing at my feet. So I sit in my room and lock down all my doors. I just want to lose myself, can't take it anymore. Put my headphones on, turn it up, and we next to the top. Push it to the limit, push it, everybody jump and scream. Just set me free. I wanna be who I can be. Just set me free to escape from slavery. Oh, everything gonna be alright, yo. Everything gonna be alright. So forget about them, just you and me. And tonight's gonna be the night. I just want to run away from sorrows in my life. And I'm about to lose my job, I can't get nothing right. Oh, I just want to free myself, destroy the prison doors. But every time I face myself, falling hit the floor. Put my headphones on, turn it up, and we next to the top. Push it to the limit, push it, everybody jump and scream. Just set me free. I wanna be who I can be. Just set me free to escape from slavery.
Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim, $2.33 million. Let's get to the goal. We have 1 hour left. We're trying to get to 3.5 million. That's been the original goal, and we can do it with your help. Make sure to encourage everybody in your life to give. A lot of people in the community are aware of Amudim. It's a proven and tremendous commodity that's been such an important part of our community now for so many years. Be as generous as possible, and make sure you know that every donation you give is doubled. 180 is 360, 1,000 is 2,000, 5,000 is 10,000, etc., etc. Our next guest needs no introduction. Miriam Lankry, the one and only Miriam Lankry, is the clinical director of Amudim. A pleasure to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Nachum.
Welcome
Pleasure
back.
To be back.
I appreciate that. So, what got you started in the world of mental health? Take us to the beginning.
Oh, wow. What a great question. Okay, so before I was a clinician, I was a teacher, a principal, Kirov community rebbitzin, of course a mom, shout out to my kids, grandkids. And all of these roles really taught me something very important about life. That you need to be able to sit with people in their darkness, in their light, in their challenging moments, in their successes, in their failures, in their struggles, whatever it may be. And when I transitioned from being a teacher, a principal, a Kirov rebbitzin, it was like a really natural next step to go into clinical work. It was something that I was doing unofficially. And it felt like the natural transition. It also helps along the years. People always said to me, you should be a therapist. You're really good. You're a natural. So that definitely helped. But it was that capacity of being able to sit with people with a lot of different things that really launched me into my mental health training.
And Amudim has had what role in that mental health space for you?
Yeah, so that was really interesting. I was launching my private practice after years of clinical training and, ready to bring in the big bucks. I said, I really did the community work for a long time. It was super meaningful, very, very positive, very beautiful part of my life, but I'm ready to be a private citizen. It's time, And I started my private practice and things were going. And then I hear about the Amudim job. Somebody reached out to me. I wasn't looking at all for a job. Somebody reached out to me and said, Amudim's looking, go. And I'm like, no. And they were like, just make your resume, just send it in. And I was like, still no. But when you feel like something.
Pulling you in.
Yeah, I interviewed with Dr. Shlomi Zimmerman, who is still today, one of our clinical boards. People on who advise us, advisory boards. It was a meaningful interview, and then I met with 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄. Our families know each other from way back when. I'm way older than him, but I still knew who he was. And I don't know, Nachum, if this ever happened to you, but sometimes in life you know something from a place very, very deep inside.
You just feel it.
And I was like, Hashem wants me here. I can't say no if I tried.
So how many years is it now with Amudim?
Is it 7 or 8?
Pretty amazing.
You stop counting after a while.
What do you think of the experience you have on the front lines? What can you report to us about what's happening in our community?
So this is something that I remind myself regularly. Of course at Amudim, we're hearing about the most challenging, most difficult, complex cases all the time. Rav Elia Brudny, our Das Torah, Rabbi Elephant in 𝐻'Tz Yisrael, who works with Amudim Israel there, who I have the privilege of speaking with every now and again, are very mindful to remind me, people are doing okay, but a lot of people need support. They need the additional guidance, the case management, the clinical case management that is Amudim, to guide them through what for so many is like the darkest periods in their life. So we are seeing addiction is shifting from like the hard drugs of a decade ago to a lot of other substances, more the alcohol, the marijuana. Of course, the other things still exist as well. I don't want to pretend like they're not there, and then process addiction, gambling, everyone, we made a smash on a podcast a couple weeks ago. But these are real issues, and it's ripping families apart. It's very painful to see. And people are calling, they're reaching out for guidance. If you just, listen, be a fly on the wall, hearing my case managers share their love, their care, their compassion, and guiding people through these dark moments, it's really inspiring.
There's no, excuse the term, but there's no quick fix to all of this, right? Everything takes time, and we're talking about months or years, right, generally speaking, with any of the things you just mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
And families need to know that aside from whatever finances might come into play, there's a very big investment of time and effort, and it could be there could be a lot of bumps along the road.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that really drives me. I have the opportunity, really, it's a bracha, it's a gift, to see people who are really, many of them in their darkest moments, and they come through with flying colors. They are spiritually, emotionally, psychologically reborn, and they're able to connect deep inside, relationally. Like their lives change. They, like a seed that germinates in the ground, and then a beautiful flower, a tree, something grows out of it. It's incredible. It's incredible to watch people and to see the transformation. And really, people, I think it's important, I speak to people every day at the beginning of their process, and they don't believe that things could get better. They really, really don't.
It's hard
but I
to
can
see,
say, that I
see the finish line, right?
It's hard to see the finish. It's hard to see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You don't see the tunnel, you don't see the light, you don't see anything. But me and Amudim team's collective experience is like there really is hope. There really is hope, and I have the privilege to see people go through the process and reconnect to their life, to their passions, to their families in really beautiful, powerful ways.
When that phone rings for a case manager, you never know what's on the other end, right?
You never know.
I have no clue.
No clue.
It could be a very difficult day.
Yeah.
If there's such a thing, maybe as a simpler case, it could be a simpler
There
day.
are, yes.
But
Yeah.
you never know what you're going to hear.
You just never know.
And yesterday we spoke about the support system that the case managers have. There's a lot of cases, I'm sure, that come up where not necessarily an inexperienced person, but they just need a little advice, a little teamwork, so to speak, and you and others are always there for them.
Yeah. My case manager supervisors, first, my case managers are all clinicians. They're very well trained. They're masters in social work, and we're constantly talking about what's out there, treatment trends and all of that. So they're really very well informed. They're not just giving referrals, but they're getting deep into the kishkas, if you will, of what's going on for somebody.
A lot to offer.
Yeah, and their supervisors are really there for them. We created a structure now where the team has supervisors and the supervisors have me, and the team also has me. We're constantly speaking to each other, and they get the guidance and the support, and not just in terms of supporting the clients, but supporting themselves. When you're in the trenches day in, day out, you yourself need support. So I always encourage my team, reach out. You need someone to talk to. You're overwhelmed.
Advice I'm giving right? Is the treatment center I'm recommending right?
Right. Or I'm having a really hard time finding hope for other people when they call. I was like, okay, let's talk about that. Let's process that. We can connect.
All right, Miriam Lankry, it's time for you to help me appeal to this audience.
Wow.
Explain to them why Amudim is such a worthy cause to support. And now that we're in the last hour, this would be a good time for people to really support us.
So for those of you who I've, out there, who I've spoken to, who've already donated, you could donate again, it's fine. We're always welcoming, but we're an organization that's really there for people and their families. People out there are again, going through the darkest times in their life. There isn't a lot of guidance in this area. As much as Baruch Hashem, there are other organizations out there, we're holding people's hands from beginning to end till they're done with us, and helping people connect to whether it's the clinical treatment that they need, the level of care they need, be it a hospital or residential treatment or an inpatient or an outpatient. We're going to be there for them and guide them and give them the support and the advice that they need throughout. So open your hearts, open your wallets, and really help Amudim continue its mission.
You'll be happy to know that just in the last few minutes, we've exceeded 2.56 million, which means that we're at 73% of our goal. So we continue to march on, and hopefully we'll get to that goal. Yeah, hopefully we'll get to that goal soon enough. Miriam Lankry, I thank you. Continue your amazing work, and best regards to your entire team.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure. This next song that we're going to present here at Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim, is entitled, I Will Leave the Light On. It's originally sung by Tom Walker. The song has over 250 million views on YouTube. That sounds like a success. It's a very powerful song, which was covered especially for Unite to Heal by our next guest who's coming up, and that is Chaim Guri. So are we doing the song first? We're doing the song first. It's entitled, I Will Leave the Light On. Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim.
The second someone mentioned you were all alone, could feel the trouble crossing through your veins, and now I know it's got a hold. Just a phone call left unanswered had me sparking up. These thoughts won't stop me wondering where you are. Don't let go, keep a hold. If you look into the distance, there's a house upon the hill, guiding like a lighthouse, the place where you feel safe to feel our grace, cause we've all made mistakes. If you've lost your way, I will leave the light on. 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 Tell me what's been happening, what's been on your mind. Lately you've been searching for a darker place to hide. That's alright. But if you carry on hurting, you'll be robbed from us. I refuse to lose another friend to this. Just come home, don't let go. If you look into the distance, there's a house upon the hill, guarding like a lighthouse, a place where you feel safe to feel our grace, cause we've all made mistakes. If you've lost your way, I will leave the light on. I will leave the light on.
Chaim Guri sings I Will Leave the Light On, and we hit 77% of our goal. Coincidence? I think not. Chaim works in the mental health world at the Living Room. He's also a very talented singer, as you just saw and heard. If you haven't heard his name or seen his material yet, you need to go and look him up, of course, after Unite to Heal. He has some pretty amazing songs out there. Chaim also happens to be Miriam Langkry's son. That's why you see both of them in our shot here tonight. Chaim, as a singer and a mental health professional, I would have to imagine that music plays a tremendous role in your life, not just as a singer, but obviously music has a healing power to it as well. What could you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think it's like sometimes people say those are two such different things. And I don't think so. If you think about it, writing music is finding the right notes inside a piano or a guitar and bringing them out and making them sound good. And I think a lot of what healing is finding the right note. And it's about really just finding the right note inside of people and seeing that and bringing that out. I actually heard one time someone once say, "What is love?" He said, "Love is to sing someone's song back to them."
Wow. Yeah. I like that. What made you choose this song, by the way?
It's one of my favorite songs.
Simple as that. It certainly has a good message, right?
Yeah.
Well, your mom, as we've discovered, and we've known actually for a few years, is the clinical director of the largest and most prominent mental health Jewish organization in the world. What impact did that have on your decision to follow in her footsteps and to choose a career in mental health?
Well, besides being an awesome mental health professional, she's also an incredible mom.
There you go.
And I do want to say that seeing, I remember when COVID hit and Amudim was momish, taking cases and cases. We were at the Pesach Seder with my mom and was oop, gotta go, oop, gotta go, oop, gotta go. She was taking phone calls and phone calls. And that sense of missionhood is extremely empowering to want to help Klal Yisrael. To reveal the goodness in every single person is something that no one does it better than my mom, but, it's something that really, really fires me up, and I want to, halavai, live under her shadow, In
your regular work, are you dealing with a specific age group or a specific category?
I deal with young adults, ages 18 to 35, who are struggling with addiction. That's what I do.
They're in serious situations?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very good people, though.
No, of course they're good people, but your mom just described to us a few minutes ago how these people have, a difficult road, and they need a lot of TLC along the way, and there are going to be a lot of bumps along the way.
100%. That's really part of, it's funny. People have described that addiction sometimes is a different thing, but it's really just every human experience. Just a little bit, it's just much more pronounced.
Right.
Much more extreme of the regular experience. And really helping people get through that is a lot of what I learned from my mom. My mom has a tremendous patience and a good eye. She sees the goodness in everyone. So it's a very inspiring thing.
Do you have a lot of success stories that you're able to look back on?
Do I have a lot of success stories that I'm able to look back on? I think everyone's a success. We can't denominate success by a specific goal.
Right. If they're making progress and doing the work, that's just in your definition of a success, obviously.
I actually heard something very cool. Is that we tend to look at ourselves, whatever, each person in their own way, I'm a much better success than this person.
Right.
But if you knew what it took for this person to get out of bed and put on his clothes and actually get out of the house, you would be surprised of what that took for somebody. And to know that about somebody, if I gave a quarter of that effort in my life, I would be probably the most successful person in the world. What they do to just some people do that in a very tough situation. I'm not even necessarily speaking about the people that I work with, but sometimes people, what they have to do to get out of bed and just face, go into the street and walk to the store and pick up the thing. If I put that much effort into my life, I would be interviewing you.
So it's a big fundraiser tonight, and we're trying to encourage people to give and support an important organization. I'm sure that it has your full support behind it.
100%. 100%.
People, I hope, will give and help us achieve our goal.
Yes.
Chaim, a real pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Miriam, boy, what a job you've done.
Thank you so much.
Chaim Guri, everybody, check him out, because I'm told, and I wouldn't ever emphasize this until after 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm told he has tremendous material out there that people need. That we play you. We play you on JM and the AM. Come on.
Yeah.
You've hit the big time. Everybody out there, you know what the numbers look like. If you're on the website, you see it right in front of you. We're at 2.7 million, 77% of the goal. This always seems to be the most difficult hour in terms of fundraising and getting to the goal. You can make it much easier for us if you give the large amounts, if you give any amount, and watch it double and watch it be added to our total right now. Let's get to 80% and then 90% and then to 100% of our $3.5 million original goal. We need your help to do it, and we hope that you'll come through for us right now. So there's a PSA, a public service announcement that's done in video form. That's called Kiddush Club. And this next PSA, Kiddush Club, may be very difficult for some people to watch, but it's very important that you do so. The negative effect that alcohol has on our children who see their fathers and parents drinking in shul, at friends' homes, during shul, in Kiddush clubs, has a huge negative effect and is a huge danger for our young generation who unfortunately pick up this drinking habit from ages way below the legal drinking age. And I'll add something. I have seen how this practice, whether you call it Kiddush Club, Erev Shabbos clubs, etc., has really helped destroy not just family experiences, but Shabbos experiences for families, and the much sought after Shabbos Friday night meal experience for families, and believe me, a lot worse as well. But just those basic things that so many of us take for granted is ruined by the quote-unquote Kiddush Club. Here is the PSA as we remind everybody to continue to give. Remember, every time you give, you're doubling your impact and your value, because all of it is being doubled. 18 is 36, 500 is 1,000, 1,800 is 3,600. And now we need those big numbers to get to our goal. Here's the PSA. More coming up at Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim.
Where have you been? Hours like this is not okay. We're not by you. Sit back down there.
That was very, very powerful. And those of you out there who are wondering how effective your contributions are to Amudim, imagine if they just saved one life like the one we just saw. And you don't have to imagine, you can know for a fact that they're saving many, many lives every single day with the incredible work they're doing, not only in the area of alcoholism, but in general. So many things that have seeped into our community, which have become very, very serious situations. And we do wish that our adults would, in fact, make the adjustment and tone things down a bit in this area. But whether they will or won't, Amudim will always be there to make sure to help kids and adults who get into these crazy situations. We need your help in order to allow Amudim to continue this important work. It's only once a year that they have one massive fundraiser like this where they go online for 36 hours. We present all this incredible content, and we ask everybody to support the organization. So right now, as I look, we're at 77% of our goal, officially at $2.7 million. And you know what's supposed to happen? In the next half hour, we're supposed to get to at least $3.5 million. We need your help to do so. So please, open your hearts, open your wallets, put in those credit card numbers with the donate button on the website. Encourage family and friends and people you know around the world to do the same thing. Let's get to the goal. Every donation is doubled, which means we don't really have another 800,000 to go. We really have another 400,000 to go, because every time you put in a donation, that donation is doubled. So please, please, please help us get to the goal. Respond now. Gabi Shul is with us. Gabi and Yami Schechter are the producers of Unite to Heal. And they've been doing this for a very, very long time. I think whenever we've done the 36 hours of all this brilliant content, I believe they've always been behind it over at Charity Bids. And we have an opportunity here to talk about what goes into producing this event. Gabi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nachum.
How unusual to see you on this end of things.
It's a little bit overwhelming to sit on this side and look at all
now you see what
what's
the guests
going on
go
behind
through.
the screens over there.
And you have no Gabi giving you instructions, so it's even more interesting.
We got Adira.
She's doing a good job. So when you sit down And it's determined between you and Reb Tzvi Gluck and everybody at Amudim that you're going for it again. You're going to produce 36 amazing hours. It takes an effort to come up with combinations and with features that are going to be really appealing to people. And the last 35 hours proves that you guys were able to do it. Tell us about that behind-the-scenes process.
Well, before we get the go-ahead from Tzvi, Yummy and I, look, we live in Toronto. There's really not much going on in Canada these days. So what we do all year is, what are we going to do for Unite to Heal next year? We get together every day to do that. But on a serious note, we start talking about it probably April, May. We start shooting ideas. And then beginning of the summer, we'll have a call with Tzvi and his team to say, we're going ahead with it. And then it's brainstorming sessions, to come up with not only new content, but we want to appeal to all our audiences. So sports and entertainment, and obviously mental health, which is the forefront and the main part of it.
Sports, it's politics, it's the latest news. I mean, today we're going through the whole topic of anti-Semitism constantly. You made sure to address it, and there's comedy involved as well, because there are a lot of funny people in our community who have a comedic take on what's happening in our community, and that's fun to watch. So you're really giving a tremendous potpourri, if you will, of content. And I think the last 35 hours proves it. And the benefit, of course, these are going to last forever. I mean, people will be able to access it through Unite to Heal whenever they want.
And, I mean, if people have seen what the website looks like this year compared to other years, Tzippi and her team have really made it look state-of-the-art, incredible, where this content will obviously, as you said, live on here for people to come back and watch and obviously be inspired to give not only today until we reach our 3.5, but continue giving to support Amudim.
And you've gone ahead and you've produced a lot of great spots with a lot of returning panelists, but you also have to give a fresh perspective. You need to know who the hot new people are out there around the globe. And that, by the way, could be a few sessions with the team at Charity Biz, just to determine, hey, what are people talking about? What do they want to hear more about?
Great point. And when Yummy and I were sitting down and we're like, what are we going to do for anti-Semitism? As so important as it is to talk about and to be aware of, there's also a fatigue that we have to be careful of. So for that part and a lot more, we rely on Yummy with his great connections to get a Deborah Messing and a Hillel Neuer who have probably never, well, I know had never spoken before and definitely not in public about these kind of things. And your Shabbos Kestenbaum, who, although is really popular, but him and Nate Buzz were, so it was really cool to be able to put those combinations, and that's how we, try and come up with new, fresh content, even if it's a topic that, might seem overspoken about, or I don't want to say overspoken about, but spoken about a lot.
Right. In production, which one did you really pay attention to? Like, which one blew your socks off as it was going on? I know there's, many
That's
of them.
Such an unfair question.
There's got to be something where you said, wow, this is like,
Look, the Shabbos Kestenbaum, Nate Buzz was wow, just because they're not easy people to reach. Deborah Messing and Hillel Neuer, I mean, that's obvious. And then obviously your content, your mental health stuff. So, Dr. Hindi Klein and Dr. Shlomi Zimmerman and Rav YY, every single year we have them, but the stuff that comes out of their mouths. And obviously, the Derechenu panel, where we didn't do one during the 35 hours, but you had the whole team here. Not to mention Rav Avi Lander, his therapy session and his Derechenu classroom. I mean, we really love everything that we produce because we take a lot of pride in it.
And we shouldn't forget, by the way, you have a lot of very prominent rabbis involved. I mean, people who are community leaders, people who have a lot to say about specific topics, and you invite them on to participate in these panels as well.
Of course, yeah.
A lot of good stuff out there. And as we said, it's going to last for a long time. Now, it's time for you to thank everybody at Amudim, all the people that make all this possible, because it's not just you and Yummy, it's really teams of people that make all this happen.
It is. So, they say it takes a village, and it takes a few cities, because, from the start we've got Tzvi and his team, and Tzvi and Andy, welcome Andy to Amudim, and Devorah and Miriam and that team, here's a shout out specifically to Miriam, because what people see, this great content, what they don't realize is that every single piece of content we have to run by Miriam and her team, because you never know who's watching, and you need to be sensitive to people that might get upset, offended, triggered by something that might bring something up. So Miriam, thanks for everything that you do over there. Tippy, Trish, and their team, MVPs as always. What they've done with the marketing and getting this out is unbelievable. On our charity bid side, obviously Adira, who's been with us here every step of the way. Shlomo Weprin, who is a superstar who's now living in Israel, and he has kept US and Israel hours, so he's been awake 24 hours, and it's time for him to get a good nap.
Love running into him, but it's been so long since I've run into him.
No, he's back and forth. and then obviously our team leader and our Yummy, who thanks Yummy for bringing us all together again for this, and really the work that he does.
Hope he's watching right now.
You better be watching, Yummy.
Better be.
And then not to mention, not directly with our, doing the campaign, but our families. I mean, my wife and my Chani, Eliana, Kaylee, and JJ, who have given up nights of us having to travel for recordings and hours of calls.
Yeah, there's a lot of production going on.
It's so much. So we appreciate that you're very, very
By
much.
the way, Gabi, are we going to give a special shout out to Shami Jacob and the Breaking Bad crew out there, the Chevra out there?
Who's Shami Jacob?
We're not giving him a shout out?
Of course we're going to.
What are we doing? I mean,
you know what?
You're aware of the fact that we're 2.71 right now.
Yeah, I think the Breaking Bad Chevra 100%.
They can get us to 3 million.
100%. And here's the great part. One of our big members, Ephraim Fishbane, his daughter Devorah works at Amudim. So the Breaking Bad Chevra, just go to her page, donate, and let's get to 3.5 million. I mean, I don't know if they told you, Nachum, we're not leaving here tonight until we get to 3.5 million.
So I've been told.
Yeah, exactly. So
boy,
exactly. And just one other, thank you, because what we don't realize is, even though during the production there's a lot that goes into, the people that are on the panels give of their time, and it's not just an hour; it's hours and hours. So we thank them very much for giving of their time and 100%. Everything they do.
Gabi, I thank you. Pleasure working with you again.
Always, Nachum. Great to see you, and thank you so much.
Gabi Shull, everybody. He joins me in begging everyone. It's 22 minutes left, so now we're begging everyone. If you haven't given yet, now's the time. 3,050 people have given. Now it's time to join that list and make your voice heard on behalf of Amudim. And remember, everything is doubled. Literally, 180 is 360. Forget about the small numbers now. We're at the home stretch. If you wait until now, you got to give and really give. 180 is 360. 1,000 is 2,000. 10,000 is 20,000. We need you to give and get us to our goal. The total right now, 2.71 million. Help us get to 3.5 at the moment. Gabi.
Yankee and his team from Flow Motion, how I did not forget, but a really special shout out, because the past 36 hours and leading up to these 36 hours, Yankee, that was not an oversight. There was just so much to say there. Thank you to you and your team who make this whole thing happen.
Should we give him a nice round of applause?
100%.
Nice round of applause.
Yankee,
everybody at Flow Motion, Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. If you figure out how to get in here, the experience is amazing.
It sure is. Thank you,
Simple as that. All right. Keep the phones ringing. Keep the donate button active. That donate button has got to be utilized more and more and more. After all, 9 p.m. Eastern Time is our deadline. We want to get to that goal, but before we get to 9 o'clock, what have you been waiting for? Now is the time. 2.71 million, phenomenal number, but it's not the goal number. The goal number is 3.5 million. Give and give generously now to Amudim, and recommend to family and friends to do the same thing at 𝐷uniteToHeal.com. Man from Vilna is an A.B. Rottenberg gem. The Lemmer Brothers. Yeah, they're good, those Lemmer Brothers. They're going to sing this amazing song for us. This piece is produced by our dear friend Aryeh Kunstler. Man from Vilna, Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim. Keep those donations coming.
Met a man last Sunday, he was on his way back home from a wedding in Chicago. He was traveling alone. He said he came from Vilna, a survivor, I could tell. I helped him with his suitcase. He could not walk very well.
A steward gave us coffee as we settled on the plane. I asked him why he bothers. At his age there'd be no blame. No simcha is a burden, although I miss my dear late wife. Then he shared with me a story that has changed my view of life.
We danced round and round in circles as if the world had done no wrong. From evening until morning, filling up the shul with song. Though we had no Sifrei Torah to clutch close to our hearts, in their place we held the future of a past so torn apart.
I remember liberation, joy and fear both intertwined. Where to go and what to do, and how to leave the pain behind. My heart said go to Vilna, dear I pray it once again, for the chance to find a loved one, or perhaps a childhood friend.
It took many months to get there, from late spring to the fall. And as I, many others, close to 400 in all. Slowly there was healing, darkened souls now mixed with light, where someone proudly cried out, Simchas Torah is tonight.
We danced round and round in circles, as if the world had done no wrong. From evening until morning, filling up the shul with song. Though we had no Sifrei Torah to clutch close to our hearts, in the place we held the future of a past so torn apart.
We ran as one towards the shul, our spirits in a trance. We tore apart the barricade, in defiance we would dance. But the scene before us, it shook us to the core. Scraps of cedar, bullet holes, bloodstains on the floor.
Turning to the eastern wall, we looked on in despair. There'd be no scrolls to dance with, the holy ark was bare. Then we heard two children crying, a boy and girl who no one knew. We realized no children were among us but those two.
We danced round and round in circles, as if the world had done no wrong. From evening until morning, filling up the shul with song. Though we had no Sifrei Torah to gather in our arms, in the place we held those children, the Jewish people would live on.
We danced round and round in in circles as if the world had done no wrong. From evening until morning, filling up the shul with song. Though we had no Sifrei Torah to clutch and hold up high, in their place we held those children. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai.
Unite to Heal is powered by Amudim, and we're in the last 15 minutes of our campaign, asking everybody to help us get to our goal. And of course, 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄, the founder of Amudim, is with us. He's also asking everybody to get to it now. Make sure to double your impact, double your value by giving and giving generously over the next few minutes. We're at 2.73 million, 78% of the goal, and we're trying to get to 3.5 million as soon as possible. The rumor has it that we may be extending things a bit tonight. What could you tell us about this rumor?
Well, like any good fundraiser, if we need more money, you just stretch it out. No, but I will say this. We have a lot of requests for certain key segments that people kept messaging us. So what we're doing is the amazing team that we have here and 𝐶𝐈𝐕 and co. are actually putting together right now those segments that were most requested. So that starting at 9 o'clock until midnight, they're going to be playing the most requested segments that were played. And then by Thursday, Mirza Hashem, people will be able to go to the website, unitetoheal.com, and watch all the segments individually, whichever people enjoy the most, and be able to watch it. And as you mentioned earlier, and keep supporting Amudim, not just for the campaign, but throughout.
So Thursday becomes available on demand. Included in what you'll see between 9 and midnight is Jewish Jeopardy, a very popular one. If you have the other titles, feel free to share it with us, but that's going to continue until
well,
midnight.
the one that he just mentioned right now, we had the Shabbos and Nate.
Right.
That's going to be replayed. Nice. Opposite of Addiction, which was also very, very popular. Courage to Care, and Courage in the Chaos. So we're talking about the segments that were the. If I'm not mistaken, I think 2 out of those have our esteemed clinical director in them, right? Miriam Lankry.
Your thoughts as you look at a big board that says 2.7 million and says 78% of our goal so far?
So what is the goal? And the goal is something we want to get to, right? But at Amudim, we understand that it's more about showing up. It's about being there for people that need it. It's always nice to get to the goal, but that's not what it's about. And we appreciate, and I look at it, over 3,000 people sent a very, very, very loud message today. And that message is to those that are struggling, to victims and survivors of abuse, to people battling addiction. That message is very, very clear. Let's look at the number, right? Yeah. $2,738,268. Obviously, yes, we'd love to get to 3.5 million, and the website is open. People can give money whenever they can. The match ends at 9 p.m., although we did speak to some of the sponsors to ask them if they're willing to keep the match going till midnight, only because that's, now that we're doing the stream till midnight.
Right.
But hopefully that. But again, let's look at the message. What is the messaging? We're living in crazy times. And to be able to send that message, can I read you a message Please. That we got today? I got to read this to you. This is... This came today. I'm not even going to make this up. Okay, people ask us, what's the purpose of Unite to Heal, right? And I always say it's a fundraiser, but it's also about awareness. It's about, doing what we do, right? Okay, I'll be honest. This was not sent to me. This was sent to another one of the staff members. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, though. Last night, I was such a mess. I'm tearing up now. I really didn't know how I can go on and live the night. I was about to call the suicide hotline and just tell them it was over. Right before I went on to Amudim's campaign and watched a little, and I guess the fact that there's a whole community trying to help me, just last night trying to raise money for an organization that helped the abused is honestly what kept me alive and saved me from suicide.
Wow. Earlier we mentioned that among the most difficult situations you have to deal with when people in our community feel that their time is over. And all I'll say is, and I know that this is heavy, but it's the end, so why not encourage people to support a cause that's addressing this issue? If people knew the numbers, the statistics, which I don't think you're going to share with us now, of how many cases you had to deal with that unfortunately ended in terrible tragedy, they'd be shocked.
You know, just recently I was featured in a couple of clips of mine made their way around the Jewish hemisphere. Interviews. And you know what they say, right? Going viral in the Jewish world means more than 5,000 people saw it. So I went viral. But people were still messaging, oh, the numbers, you're lying, you're this, you're that. I'm like, you know what? I don't get paid for making up numbers. I don't get paid for saying what's happening. People need to know what's really going on without acknowledging. I mean, Mendy Oliver Shalom said it at that first ever conference, okay? When he said, we don't have all the answers, but let's start asking the questions. If we can ask the questions, we can try to get to the answers. We can't ask the questions without acknowledgement of what's happening. And you know what? It's been 11 years, over 20,000 people that has been assisted by Amudim. Amazing work. The case managers, really, I mean, it's the lifeline behind it. I mean, obviously, without, the entire team, Devora, Andy, our board of directors, and everybody that makes it happen. But, the lifeline is being there for people when they need it and being able to answer that call. And that's what we do.
You'll join me in the final push in a moment. I'm told we're going to the highlight reel. We're going to go to a highlight reel of some of the things that you have seen or may have missed over the last 36 hours. And then we're going to come back with a final push as the numbers keep going up. We're already at 79% of the goal, almost at 2.8 million. Keep it going as we continue until midnight with the live stream, and we continue all through the week offering amazing things on the website. We can get very, very close to that goal. Our highlight reel, here it is, Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim. Hello, everyone. My name is 𝐂𝐈𝐕𝐄, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to this year's edition of Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim, of course. It is 36 consecutive hours of fantastic programming.
I went to speak with my rabbi, and I told him about my dreams. He was in shock. Obviously, it was the first time in the Hasidic sector in Israel that someone went to medical school first time. Ever. When he told me, look, do it, but do it as a religious mission.
What's more painful than being hated for who you are is being liked for who you're not.
I can cry, I can be scared, I can laugh, I can be learning something. Let yourself feel everything. Yeah. All the thoughts that comes up to my head, it's not for nothing. Listen to it and let them pass through if they're not relevant to you.
I didn't choose to be kidnapped, and I didn't choose for what's happening to us on October 7th. But I'll always choose how to react. I choose life. I choose to see the light.
This is the beautiful thing about the Creator. He says, I work in chaos. So if you're done with your life, if you think you can't fix it, you can't solve it, you can't redeem it, perfect. Let me take it and let me turn it into something beautiful and good. That's His story. With me, with you, with humanity.
In order to overcome challenge, I need to focus on the future. The minute I realized that, everything became much more easier.
They have not done enough to hear the tzaras hanefesh of our generation. Young and old, we're not hearing, we're beginning to hear.
Just show that you're actually trying to take in what you see, what you experience by someone else's tzaras and what they're going through. That's already half of the way, which is exactly what Amudim is doing.
Talk about how the opposite of addiction is connection, right? I think in today's world, the opposite of what this world is struggling with at this moment is connection.
Yeah.
And I think connection starts with conversation.
I'm slipping into this much deeper level of listening
and I'm pulling from like a deeper place. And by doing so, I'm able to really hear what they're saying. You're also bringing in the past, their personal history. You're bringing in what's non-verbally happening in the room. It's a completely different level of, right? You're in a different journey, right?
If we can find a way to help the person rewire this system that's firing threat for it to feel more safe, which has to be in relationship, then the person can start to feel the safety that's automatic.
How many people here by a raise of hands have observed bullying? If you've all observed it, then you all potentially could be part of this solution.
It feels like it's been a 2-year-long process of so much pain and so much loss, exhausting trauma and mourning, and at the same time, this awakening of the soul of the Jewish people, togetherness and giving.
We lost our children in the army fighting, but they also did, and they're giving to us. And they realized, wait a minute, if they're giving to us, that means we can also be givers. You don't have to be a giant. Everyone can give something.
Never feel bad when you're the instrument for somebody else to bring out the best in them.
We have to find for ourselves what's going to help us get through our challenging times, our hard times. And everyone has to look into themselves and decide what that is for them.
Am I personally responsible for her conversion? Of course I am.
The things that happened to Jews on October 7th and after, it only made me want to be Jewish more, because I always say that at that point, I would never want to even be confused to be a non-Jew. I wouldn't even want to be associated with the other side that maybe doesn't support this, Israel, good people, morals.
I've kind of sort of been always in this world. It's kind of a natural thing for me, but you kind of broke out of the mold of the people around you. What do you attribute that?
I kept being told growing up, if not now, when? It has been a long struggle for me the last 2 years. When I realized that none of the people that I stood with were going to stand with me, that felt like a death. It felt like the life I thought I was living was just an illusion.
All the things that I've done sort of over the past 20 years, nothing has been more important than speaking up for my own people.
Aww.
Yeah. And I feel like Jews, for whatever reason, in my business, have a really hard time being proud and just standing in who they are. The antidote to hopelessness, I think, is action.
And I don't know where I got the courage. I just posted on my social media, basketball beats terror. We're going to meet at the basketball court at 1 o'clock today. And it's near a bomb shelter, God forbid if we need it. And over 100 kids showed up. And my message to the kids were, we can't let them break our spirit.
This whole notion of we're finally integrated, the American dream, suddenly it's a joke. You're God's people. You're a blessing to the world. You're chosen for this. The world is basically going to be obsessed with you. Who thought that today the world will be obsessed? An incredible time. It's basically the whole world is pleading with you to tell them what you heard from God at Sinai. And that would be incredible, but we still have a lot of shame that we have to hear.
It took me over 40 years to find the breath that was gifted to me at birth. He blows breath into us and says, I know this is going to be really hard, but if you find your breath, you'll get through this. It helps people heal on a deeper, visceral level.
Showing people that we're real and showing people that we really take to heart the situations that they share with us, to me, I think is more powerful than anything else.
Welcome back to Jewish Jeopardy! Please welcome from Toms River, New Jersey, our youngest contestant, 16-year-old Momo.
So, just out here trying to fill that klipas nister with some fresh orpanecha. You know what I'm saying?
No, I have no idea what you're saying. Does anybody know what he's saying?
I believe he's talking about tikkun olam.
Yeah, of course you would think that. Does anybody know what he's saying?
I think he said his vape died.
Vape died? Baruch Dayanemes.
Won't you just tell me who now will embrace me and promise that I will not break down anymore? home, yeah. I will hold on, I will hold on.
You fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back up. 𝐂𝐈𝐕𝐄 𝐿𝐴
Unite to Heal has been extended till midnight Eastern Time, which means we have just under 3 hours to go. And some of the most popular segments of the last 36 hours are going to be replayed between 9 p.m. Eastern Time and midnight. Right now, we're at $2.85 million, 81% of the goal. And certainly by the end of tonight, we could get to the goal of $3.5 million. 𝐷𝐸, a lot of people to thank, including the Pavement, who changed you a bit today.
Yeah, they did. You know, my makeup artist wasn't available, so I figured might as well have something to show off. So it's very nice when I get screenshots of pictures of me sitting here with you and people, which at least means one thing.
They're watching.
They're watching. And in order for people to watch, there has to be the machine behind it. So I got to say, first and foremost, to Yummy, the entire Charity Bids team, Adira, our new run-of-show producer. I have to be careful because the former producer was an amazing person who we liked very much.
We like all the producers.
And she just decided to go to Florida instead. And Gabi, who is, I tell people all the time, these are friends. These are not people that we work with. These are people that we speak to all year. As a matter of fact, people, I think, assume that Gabi actually works for Amudim. Right. The amount of times that he calls me during the year with different issues and things that people come to him about. So we're just not paying him because we didn't raise enough money tonight. That's the way to do it.
Someone's got to suffer.
Listen, might as well be Gabi. Flow Motions, Yankee, the entire team over here, just really, we appreciate, the going above and beyond. And, we have to say a special thank you to our platform manager, Levi from Raython, who nice. I think is going on 41 hours of zero sleep right now. That's because I think he's scared of our MVP, which is Tzippi. Tzippi once again gets MVP. Tzippi and Trish and the entire team. By the way, big props. Everybody's talking about the way the material came out this year. Everybody, between the Charity Bids production side, the Yummy side, and what Tzippi did with getting the assets out, and just unbelievable. But she did it by putting together a real team, and we're very proud. It's a huge thing, and you know what? We can tell, and it's really amazing. And then we had Esty and Chayla, who again love stepping in whenever things fall down, and they're like, okay, we'll just help you pick it right back up again. So they did an amazing job. I have to thank everybody with me on my side, Devorah, for making sure that I don't spend more money than I want to, because
someone's got to be in charge of that.
I would spend it, and Andy for joining the team and really getting involved in the family, and Miriam for even today, reminding us that we're Amudim. We're not busy raising money. We're busy saving lives. And if the case managers have to make phone calls to deal with clients and not to raise money, then that's what they have to do, and we appreciate that. And the team of, at JAG, Yehuda, Yekasil, Hadassah, there's a lot of, and there's just so many more. And just the people that have donated, those are the real thank yous. The people that have...
Over 3,100 at this point.
Over 3,100. That's 3,100 messages to those that need to hear it.
81% of the goal. The doubling. The extra value and impact of your donation continues until midnight Eastern Time. So at any point in the next 3 hours, if someone gives, that donation is automatically doubled. That will turn off at midnight. People need to know that. There is a pressing matter here. You got to do it in the next couple of hours.
Well, I have to say a big thank you to the matchers that we literally reached out to make sure that we can do it. That was something where, because really, once we say 9 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock. And I also have to mention 𝐴𝐻REN Chaviv, we just, went into the next topic. So is my family who's put up with me and all of my mishigas and, while going through everything and preparing for Unite to Heal and still dealing with all the everyday regular things. So
11 years of Amudim?
11 years of not officially. We started
11 years. The organization's 11 years old, despite the fact that even before that you were helping people in many different capacities.
Absolutely.
But officially, as an organization, 11
As an organization, Amudim is 11 years. And you know what? We wouldn't get to those 11 years if not for those that help us make it happen. So we have to give our thank yous. We have some very important thank yous we have to give tonight. So we have to start off with Yami Schechter and the team at Charity Bits, who really did an amazing job as always. Gabi, Adira, really just putting together.
This sounds familiar. Didn't we do some of these thank yous already?
So in Amudim, we always understand the concept of
everything's double thank yous.
Sometimes there are some small things, and so we're going to give our thank yous and make sure that everybody hears it, especially
so the Charity Bids team,
especially
#1.
after last year. I forgot somebody, which I'm for sure going to forget somebody again.
So the Charity Bids team, we thank them.
Yeah, they are amazing. The Flow Motions team, Yankee and team, really
great studio.
Although nobody knows where it is, and we keep it that way.
Correct, and it's impossible to get in. But if you figure out how to get in, you'll enjoy great studio.
Then you can't get out.
Correct.
Like Hotel California. I mean, you got to be very careful. So that's really important. The Race-Thon team, Levi, who hasn't slept in a couple of days. Our internal team, our MVP, Tzipi, and Trish, and the entire team that they put together. Tzipi put together a team this year. I mean, you tell me, how good.
Smooth operation.
The material, the ads.
And tremendous.
Just unbelievable. Chayla and Esti, who really step up to the plate every time, we need something, and the entire Amudim family. And then we have the team at JAG, Yehuda, Yakasil, and Hadassah. So a lot of people to make this happen. But also, most important, my staff. The Amudim family. Devora, who makes sure that I don't overspend. Andy, who tries to make sure that there's enough money for me to spend. Everyone has to have their job. I just need to be able to sit and look pretty. And Miriam, who likes to remind us that we're here to help people. And even today, it's campaign day. We should be busy raising money. And the staff was all in the office until Miriam sends that message and goes, you think it's going to be quiet enough in the office for the staff to work? Because we have a lot of calls that came in over the last few days.
Serious calls.
This is like the way it is. So that's what we do. And of course, to my amazing family who puts up with all of my craziness. And our #1 host.
Thank you.
Who really is...
an honor to be here, and an honor to tell people that in addition to over 3,100 people, we could proudly say that we've gotten to 2.86 million. That is going to remain open with the doubling effect, 2 times the impact until midnight Eastern time, with some great replays with some wonderful segments coming up. And as you said, Tzvi, later in the week, most likely by Thursday, all of the Amudim material from the Unite to Heal 2025 is going to be available for people to view, and we hope.
As well as, don't forget, the previous years as well.
Correct.
So we got a lot of complaints this year. I want to see something again, or this or that. The idea behind it is that we have a 36-hour marathon.
Correct.
That's what we do.
But in due time.
And you can still see it. We're not hiding it from you. And we're not creating a pay-per-view model.
Correct.
Although we have thought about it.
Okay. Now we're really getting into the weeds.
Right. So, I mean, really...
Did you get that message?
So really it's 48 hours after we're done here is when it goes up live.
Correct.
But, we understand technical difficulties. So I said Thursday to be safe.
A fail-safe. All right, everybody. It's really simple. Tell your family and friends. Have you gotten any messages over the last few minutes? Have you gotten any texts from people who are anxious to contribute? Tell your family and friends.
Yes, my son wants to know how he puts up with me. Okay, so that's... Oh, you meant money, man.
Yes.
I thought, no, because I'm looking at the important messages.
Those of you out there who have active WhatsApp groups, social media, email lists, everybody knows they have until midnight to make a double impact on Amudim.
The messages that we
and then
get.
they should insist that they go right now to unitetoheal.com and participate. My name is 𝐿 Segal. A real honor and pleasure to be here for this year's 36-hour adventure with Amudim. We're going to wrap things up, Tzvi, with a Joey Newcomb medley, and then into some of the replays that you indicated that are coming up. You have until midnight Eastern time to double the impact, everybody. Make sure to give and give generously. Joey Newcomb's next. Thank you for participating in Unite to Heal, powered by Amudim.
Oy, 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 heilige Amudim Yidden, heilige Amudim Yidden. What you do for 𝐂𝐈𝐕𝐄, Hashem will pay you back. Olam chesed yiboner, Olam chesed yiboner, Olam chesed yiboner. Oy, 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 build the world with chesed yiboner. Oy, 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 heilige Amudim Yidden, heilige Amudim Yidden. What you do for 𝐂𝐈𝐕𝐄, Hashem will pay you back. Heilige Amudim Yidden, heilige Amudim Yidden. What you do for 𝐂𝐈𝐕𝐄, Hashem will pay you back. Diri-la-la-la-la, diri-la-la-la-la. Oy, 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 ashreinu. Diri-la-la-la-la, diri-la-la-la-la. Oy, 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 ashreinu. Diri-la-la-la-la, diri-la-la-la-la. Oy, 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 amudim. Diri-la-la-la-la, diri-la-la-la-la. Oy, 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 ashreinu. Diri-la-la-la, diri-la-lam, hey. Diri-la-lam-𝐿𝐲, Diri-la-la-la, diri-la-lam, hey. Diri-la-lam-𝐿𝐲, Diri-la-la-la, diri-la-lam, hey. Diri-la-lam-𝐿𝐲, Diri-la-la-la. No, you don't have to be a yid to know about Amudim. Oh no. But if you're gonna know about Amudim, please help them out. Yeah. No, you don't have to be a yid to give tzedakah. But if you're gonna give tzedakah, please support Amudim. 1, 2, 3, go! Mitzvah gedolah, ha ha ha, liyot besimcha, liyot besimcha, tamid. Yo 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 yo, mitzvah gedolah, ha ha ha, liyot besimcha, liyot besimcha, tamid. Yeah. La, thank you Hashem. La, thank you Hashem. La, thank you Hashem. Thank you Hashem. Toda rabba lecha, Hashem yitbarach. Toda rabba lecha, Hashem yitbarach. Toda rabba lecha, Hashem yitbarach. Thank you, Amudim.
Oh, why over there, Chilo over there? Why Mazamrim over there? Oh, that was deep. Oh, Amudim Teilik.